Hey guys, welcome back to We Need to Go Deeper. Let's not turn this rapecast into a murder cast. I'm Green, and with me is Alpaca Patrol.
That's me.
Last Grey Wolf.
Hello.
Zen from Zen and Cyrene.
I'm still trying to get my mind around rape cast, murder cast. But go on, go on.
It's a common pickup line.
In your world.
You just go up to a woman and you're like, let's not turn this rape into a murder.
Oh shit. Well, that's a good start to the podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we also have Cam.
Welcome back.
Cam.
It's Saturday night.
It's Friday night.
We're gonna get sued if you do that, so let's not.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that too. Let's just bleep that out. So anyway, first on the agenda, we've got resident gaming news anchor Rob has a lot of things to talk about. So, Rob, why don't you get us started?
Oh my god, so many things. I think I'm gonna order them in what is the least interesting first, and they're all pretty interesting. So, firstly, THQ completely went under now. So, largely, we've known for many months that THQ was bankrupt, but recently, a couple days ago, they straight up are just gone now. THQ is no more, and now they're selling off each individual property. So what's crappy about that is that means that Metro Last Light, Obsidian South Park game, Company of Heroes 2, and also the Saints Row series, is totally, it's in the dark. We don't know who's gonna pick it up, if they're gonna pick it up. So it's a really dangerous place. Did you guys play a lot of THQ games as youngins?
I've not actually played a single THQ game.
Saints Row.
Really? Not a whole lot. Yeah, I've played Saints Row. I have a lot of THQ games since the THQ bundle, but I haven't really dug into that too much yet.
Yeah.
I played a Metro 2033 and didn't really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my experience with THQ. So their whole like debacle, like there wasn't really anything I was looking forward to that much they were coming out with, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like a bigger thing maybe for me and people who are like really into RTSs, which I don't know if you can say RTSs with an acronym. But anyway, because Relic, the company who made the Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War series and also the original Company Heroes games, is a really good RTS developer, and pretty much there aren't anymore. Relic is kind of like the last other RTS developer besides Blizzard, so yeah, so that's kind of whack. Also, Obsidian South Park game looks awesome. Matt Stone and Trey Parker are going to be writing it, and it's probably going to be hilarious and all that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine that being allowed to die.
I don't know.
Someone's got to pick it up.
It's too big an IP, I would think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, historically, I think the video game industry doesn't really have a short memory, and historically, South Park games don't do very well. But, I mean, they've never been written by Matt Stone and Trey Parker, though, so is the
exactly
thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and just everybody knows what South Park is. It's a huge brand. So you automatically have a lot of awareness for your game just because it says South Park on it, and that somebody's got to think that's valuable.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like, if they market that game properly, and also Obsidian is a really good RPG developer. Like, they do good stuff. So it could go both ways. Because the other thing too is I think Obsidian knew about this kind of thing happening. They delayed the South Park game a couple months ago. And then also, I don't know if you guys saw, but on Kickstarter, they kickstarted a game that they're making. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they kind of saw this all coming, and I think they're kind of maybe I mean, this is all conjecture, obviously, but it kind of seems like they're also kind of abandoning the South Park game. I don't know. We'll see, but I really do hope that it comes out. It does seem pretty cool. I mean, one of the classes is Jew, so...
Well, I mean, Obsidian has been kicked around a lot in the last few years. Like, screwed over by Bethesda, now this. So
yeah.
I if they have contingency plans, if I were them, I would have those contingency plans, like the Project Eternity Kickstarter you were talking about. So I'm not too surprised that if they find some other way of some kind,
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
quick, people in the chat are saying that the audio is skipping a lot. I think that's just because Rob's audio is skipping a lot because he's Rob. So if
Yeah.
it starts happening for other people, let us know. But if it's just Rob, then that's why.
Yeah, you guys can all
Sorry.
just blame me. But I think as far as the South Park game goes, they're kind of in the green. There's no way that if Matt Stone and Trey Parker are writing it, then they're not going to end up making it.
Yeah,
I don't see.
Yeah, exactly.
They now have like the biggest hit on Broadway that has ever hit Broadway.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
It's
you know,
so-
that's their thing is they want to get into every medium. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and they love video games. You know, like they sit with Obsidian and they talk about game concepts they want, like things that they don't want happening and stuff, and stuff that they don't like about video games and stuff. So you know, yeah, I think Matt Stone and Trey Parker probably can pull a lot of weight. As far as if
Yeah,
they really
they'll
need
make
to
this happen.
fundraise the game or something. I mean,
Oh man, yeah. Can you imagine the Kickstarter?
oh Jesus, that would
be done
Like
in about a couple.
$700 million raised
yeah,
out of like
seriously.
a 5,000 goal.
I'd probably donate $100, like, because that's gonna be awesome. I'm super excited. So should we move on to the second piece of news?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Well, they just released the trailer for the new Pokemon game, which is going
Ermgard.
to be coming out on the Nintendo 3DS. And this is apparently it's a new team working on the Pokemon game. It's not the traditional team, and it kind of shows because they are doing a full 3D Pokemon. It's going to be it's not isometric anymore. You are behind third person, behind the character. The trailer looks awesome. There's some platforming elements, where you have to like swing on a rope or something, and it looks really cool. And also 3D battles. It's Pokemon. Like it's the thing that I think many kids have dreamed of since they were children. Is that Pokemon Stadium in a Pokemon game, and it looks cool.
It looks really cool. And, I mean, I'm honestly really excited to see the rest of the generation, too, all the Pokemon, because we've only seen 5 about, so the 2 legendaries and the 3 starters. So, I don't know, just from those 5, it looks really promising, as opposed to some of the past generations.
I'm just really glad that they actually started developing the Pokemon series a little bit more, because it kind of started to feel like it was just a cookie cutter series where they would just kind of
Yeah.
add some new Pokemon.
It was
and,
very much a cookie
yeah,
cutter
add some
Absolutely.
new cities, and then you
I
had the same
felt-
old battles and new animations.
I felt like it was a cookie cutter series starting at Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
That
See,
was
the
the
thing
last
is,
Pokemon
no
game
one
I
had
played.
a problem with that, so they just
I
kept
did.
doing it.
I like 13-year-old me was like, I think I'm done. This is my exit to the Pokemon series when Gold came out, and it was like the same exact thing as Blue, but not as good because there was no nostalgia goggles.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I wasn't terribly into Gold and Silver when I was a youngin'. And then I went back and played Ruby, like, years after it came out and was way into it. Still as fun as it used to be. I mean, the thing is, the formula, it's the same kind of idea as like, the Halo series. It's like, there's so many people who love the game for what it is, that if you stray from that even slightly, people are gonna freak the fuck out. So...
Yeah, I wonder what the reception is going to be like for this game. I could easily see it going either way.
Yeah.
Also, is this a Wii U title?
No, it's 3DS.
3DS, okay.
Yeah. See, the thing is that it is in, like, the game is in 3D, but it still looks relatively the same. So I don't think they could really screw it up that bad.
Right.
I think they could screw it up really bad. If they,
Well, I meant
like,
the
imagine,
overall aspect.
imagine like annoying platforming puzzles in a Pokemon game.
Oh,
Or
there are already
something.
annoying puzzles in a Pokemon game with the gym.
Yeah,
leaders and stuff.
they're annoying, but like 3D exclusive puzzles. Like can you imagine how pissed off people would be if there was just really annoying, poor control platforming in it?
Yeah.
Like I could really easily see them falling into 3D pitfalls that people are really pissed off about, specifically because it's 3D and they're used to the game being 2D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, I'm going to be talking out of my ass here, but I don't think they're really going to focus on the whole platforming aspect. I think it's just going to be a novelty kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. I who knows what they're gonna do, because the trailer shows very little about what the gameplay is gonna be like.
Yeah.
So like we know almost nothing from where we're standing, and that's why I say I could see it easily going either way.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
There
a
are
new
mistakes
team.
they could make, but there's no indication they will make those mistakes. Yeah, the whole new team, they don't really they could easily try to be like, we're gonna revolutionize Pokemon and do everything differently, and that could be a huge mistake for them if
It'd
they
be
do
a
that.
Dark Souls kind of mistake.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not caught up the Pokemon series at all, but all I'm asking is for them to stop making me have to put HMs on Pokemon to just get through the world. Streamline that. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
they,
it's
they
really
did-
super annoying.
in Black and White, they made it so that at the very least, they made it so that TMs aren't consumable. So your TMs can be used as many times as you want, just like HMs are. Yeah, but having an HM slave is kind of shitty, and but there's
It is.
really not much they can do. They can't fundamentally change what the HMs are. They could just throw it all out the window and say like, "Hey, we're not going to use Fly anymore. There's HMO million, and that's like Zoom or something."
Well,
and make an actual...
here's what they could be. Instead of giving me an HM that teaches my Pokemon a useless cut move that I have to use to navigate the world but is strategically inferior, they could just give me a machete
Right.
and like an item
Or
that
they
I
could
could
make
use
it
to
like
cut
a-
down shit.
Like a story-based move, like a fifth move that you don't use in battle.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
or
That'd be
that, a story slot. That would be great.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, anything like that.
I'd be
It's
okay
so
with that too. Yeah.
arbitrary. Like,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
remember...
it could be based on the type of Pokemon that you catch. You have to catch certain types of Pokemon in order to progress through the game. Because I feel like a lot of the time when you're playing Pokemon, you can take the first Pokemon that you get, level him up to the max level that is possible, and then win the game with that.
Well, I mean, that's the fun part, though. You can build any team, and you can always make it viable in some way, like, usually, unless you want to have, like,
All
7 water Pokemon or something.
6 Rattatas, man, it's the shit.
Yeah.
They're all in the top tier of
Rattata party.
Rattatas.
Yeah, man. I always had like when I was in blue version, I think I had like a really high level Raticate that had water gun, and I was super excited about it. But that never made any sense.
It's all
either.
about Nidoking, man.
Yeah, Nidoking's a badass. Although
Yeah,
I will
love
say,
playing Nidoking.
as far as like aesthetically or artistically, the Pokemon is concerned, like I've not liked the starters in the past 3 generations,
Lots
2
of
generations.
games, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of digging on the ones that they showed off so far. Like they look pretty cool. They look pretty Gen 1-y. So, I don't know. It could be cool. Definitely aesthetically, Pokemon has taken a turn that isn't exactly that cool. Like, for instance, they have a fucking snow cone Pokemon in the last
Yeah.
series. It's just like, you
He's
really
Ice
ran
Man.
it. Like, you still don't have a
It's super
lion.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it could go either way for sure. But I think I'm still going to have a good time because it's kind of my childhood fantasy. Now, all they have to do is make it like Dark Souls and have drop-in, drop-out multiplayer. Or
Yeah.
invasions. That'd be cool. But,
Oh,
I'm just
man.
glad
Like
that
a
that would be
it's
Pokemon
finally
awesome.
developing, because now this kind of opens the door to developing it further into something other than maybe a handheld game.
right.
And
Yeah.
because anyone who's ever played Pokemon has always wanted to play Pokemon multiplayer online.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, that would be the coolest of the cool. There's nothing cooler than that.
What?
You can't get better than fighting other people. Like they did the Poke MMO.
Yeah,
That
even that was good. Like that, even though it was so limited, me and Rob played that. It was still really, really fun just
Yeah.
going through the game with another person.
And that was just like using the basic Fire Red ROM.
Yeah.
Right.
So even with the regular games that they have now undeveloped, you can still have way more fun playing it online with other people. And that's why
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
really excited that they're finally doing more with this, other than just the same old thing.
I gotta say, I'm really tickled by Rob's idea of invading in Pokemon.
That would be so awesome.
you just pop up in somebody's world and Pokemon battle them.
Or
Yeah,
like
that
And
was
it's like
dropping-
based on, like, your average Pokemon level has to be very similar to theirs.
It'd be like a rival battle.
Something.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that'd
was
be
just
fun.
I was just thinking that like imagine if you could have drop-in multiplayer, like, because I was just recently playing Total War, and if you play like Shogun 2 Total War, if you play the campaign mode, you can set an option that says always check for drop-in battles, so people can just be searching for, hey, I'm gonna fuck with this guy in some random battle that he's gonna have with some guy on the map. Like, imagine that if you were playing
Yeah.
a gym leader and then all of a sudden some guy drops in as Brock or something to fight you.
Oh, man. That would be great.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
that'd be some
Yeah,
cool
you have,
stuff.
like, certain limitations. Like, you have to... Yeah, you could... Oh, man. Okay, minigame. after you defeat a gym leader, you can do a certain extra, like, series of battles that makes you become that gym leader, and then you're limited in that you can only have a certain number of this type of Pokemon at this level, and then you can fight as that gym leader against new players.
That would be so cool.
That would be
Yeah,
That
the
would
only,
be great.
the only problem is Nintendo is just absolutely terrified of multiplayer for some reason.
Yeah, they really are. Well, it's
Yeah,
not for
I don't
some
know.
reason.
Well, I mean, they have multiplayer, guys. You can call your friends and talk to them about
right,
Nintendo
yeah.
games, if you recall.
Yeah. Well, I think Satoru Iwata, so the CEO of whatchamacallit of Nintendo, has said that Pokemon so you guys are gonna be upset by this. He said that Pokemon is a handheld game, and that he doesn't want it to be on consoles. Because, I mean, when you consider it, like, for instance, do you know how many sales of 3DSs are going to explode once this Pokemon X and Y comes out?
Yeah.
Like, the only reason
fucking-
Nintendo
Yeah, totally.
handhelds are even viable, the only reason I have a DS was to play Diamond. So, like, the only reason that handhelds are still viable for Nintendo is probably because of Pokemon.
This is a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, he also said that there will never be a Pokemon MMO. Which,
Isn't there?
well, I mean,
Well, the
they
Poke
also
MMO is
DMCA. Yeah, right. They DMCA every Pokemon.
Oh, it's unofficial.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
totally
that.
unofficial.
Yeah, see, I'm totally out of the Pokemon scene. I had no idea.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
only
they-
reason it's allowed is because it uses the original ROM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so technically it's just a mod, and that's not illegal. So
It's
yeah.
not?
No, it's not. It is a loophole in the law because it's technically, like, theoretically, if they were to sue someone playing Poke MMO, all you have to do is show that you have a Fire Red cartridge, because you're allowed to play on emulators as long as you own the game. And technically,
Okay.
since it uses the ROM, it's just a mod. So
That
You
is
know.
really interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
But so that's kind of whack. And to the point of, like, Nintendo not liking multiplayer, that is totally, like, Nintendo has a long history of quality control. Like, originally the Nintendo Seal of Approval, right, which I'm sure you guys know about. Like, on original Nintendo Entertainment System games, they wouldn't even allow third-party developers at all. Like, they were just like, nope, no third-party developers. This system is only first-party. They eventually scaled that back because it was completely
Yeah, because
you
that's
know,
a
inviable.
backwards, insane fucking way to do
right.
things.
And the thing about multiplayer is because they're so concerned about quality control, they want the Wii to be the family system. And imagine if you have, like, headsets of little kids like, dude, Dialga fag, like, yelling at people over the headset. It would be terrible for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
I guess you're
I
right.
mean, even the
guess so.
Wii U
Don't they-
has the thing where you can draw, like you draw and other people can see your drawings.
Mhm.
I read a story or an interview where they worked for months on an anti-penis algorithm.
Oh,
And it's
man.
hilarious, but it's completely true. And they said the hardest
just-
part was the fact that, like, multiple penises was really hard to detect.
Wow.
Well-
So Nintendo's, like, ultimate goal here is the multiple penis algorithm.
Yeah. It's a really funny interview. If I can find
Oh,
it,
man.
I'll show you guys later. But
That is hilarious.
it is
That is
really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about boobs? Isn't that hard? Because, like, the thing is, eyes and boobs can look so similar.
You know, I haven't seen much of it. I don't own a Wii U, but I'm not entirely sure how well their what's the word? The inappropriate image algorithm works.
Yeah. That seems insane to me to even try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Now, hang on. I was about to say, isn't Black Ops 2 on Wii? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
is there
man.
just, like, no headsets in that?
I
Cam, are
don't-
you okay?
All I know is that it's horrible. Like, the game is just awful to play with a Wii U remote.
I'd imagine, yeah.
It's virtually unplayable, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any voice chat or anything like that.
I think
You know-
I think they feel safe with it because no one's playing Black Ops 2 on a Wii. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it really cracked me up when I heard that was happening.
can you
So, yeah,
guys...
I think Cam just died.
You did?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
did, I
Zen,
did
what?
just die. I had a death.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Well,
Back to the bonfire with you.
welcome
What's
back,
up, Zen?
Dennis.
Something actually fell over in my kitchen
Oh, well, there you go.
without me
That sucks.
having been there or touched anything. So
you get a
Oh,
ghost.
that's weird.
that was
It's one
strange.
of those One of those dick ghosts.
Yeah, speaking of, I was going to say, can you imagine those engineers and artists at Nintendo who had to do this? How many pictures
Oh
of
God.
how
They
many
said
times
that
did
too. They
do
mentioned they had to
penis?
look at so many pictures of penises.
Exactly, all the
That's a
different
great segue.
variations.
Yeah, imagine what the research must be like. So you get a bunch of like 6 to 12-year-old children, and you tell them to draw dicks, and then you create an algorithm that recognizes all of those pictures.
I'm just thinking about the
And
guys.
then you tell them to draw other things. You tell them to draw like baseball bats, and then you test like, okay, does it catch the dick but not the baseball bat? And yeah, oh man, that would be awesome.
Can you imagine like the meeting,
Would
the
that-
agenda, the meeting on the agenda is like, okay, well, this week agenda is penis drawing.
Okay, guys, we really need to make sure
How's the
there's no
penis algorithm coming, Bob? Well, sir, we've been looking at a
It's
lot of
definitely
dicks
moving
lately,
up.
and I think we're getting there. Oh man,
Well,
did
moving
you
on
know?
from dick algorithms. The last,
this better be a good segue.
yeah. It's, the last, and I think, well, no, not really last, but I mean last as far as like important news topics that I want to talk about is Valve has released. Well, I don't know if Valve necessarily released the details, but Gabe Newell did give an interview about it. It's not just a rumor anymore. Steambox is coming out. That's right, Steam is actually going to be a console, but it's not a traditional console. But it is going into the console market, basically. It's the XI3, and it's extremely odd and completely different than any other console that we have ever seen, because it is...
Well, it's Valve,
Yeah, right, exactly.
you know.
So it's basically going to use Steam Big Picture, which they rolled out like 2 or 3 months ago. Which is just you could just play Steam onto your PC. The details on it are extremely sparse, but it's supposed to have like crazy tech inside. And it's tiny also. It looks
And
like
it's
a game.
moddable.
Right. That is the other thing, which I don't know if I
That's the
mentioned
main
that on the
thing, I think.
podcast. But I have been saying for a long time, the next console cycle, or if they really want a console cycle that will last better than this console cycle, is moddable consoles. Because if you can make it really easy for someone to plug in a new graphics chip, a new graphics card, then the console cycle doesn't have to die. I mean, you see how Xbox and PS3, they're all holding back gaming in general because they just can't run new games. The technology is too much,
Exactly.
much better.
There's becoming like this absurd gap between, like, they basically have to make two different games for consoles and PCs, because like if you look at like Far Cry 3 on the PC and then look at it on the console, it's like there's this insane difference between them, even between like Far Cry 3 on low settings and the console version. Developers are having to spend so much time developing two different versions of the game to run on 8-9-year-old hardware. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
to me it kind of looks like the Steam box is pretty much just like a portable computer for console gamers, in a way.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it basically, they're trying to emulate a computer, but they're doing a lot of really interesting, unique stuff with it.
I think the
Like,
important question is, how much would you all pay for a Steam box?
Ooh.
That is pretty important.
I'm not planning on being an early adopter at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
because
if you
I
have
already
a
have a
PC,
good PC.
why would you need a Steam box?
Well,
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
Go on.
the other thing about the Steam box is it's kind of odd, because I don't exactly know how it's going to work, but from the details that we have, it's not like so like Microsoft develops Xbox, right? And there's no third-party Xbox, right? You can't buy a Mad Catz Xbox. But the Steam box is gonna be like that. From the sparse details we have, it seems to imply that you can have multiple companies making a Steam box. Say, if you want to make a Steam box, go right ahead. It makes sense for Steam, because I'm sure they don't have I'm sure
factory to make Steam boxes.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they I'm sure they still have a hardware department and they make their own. I'm sure they make their own servers and stuff for Steam. But that being said, I don't think they have the kind of hardware capacity to make Steam boxes themselves, so they're going to the third party. They're kind of outsourcing, which is interesting. And it could be a good thing or a bad thing, because, I mean, you could get a shitty Steam box out of a shitty company, and you kind of get what you pay for, kind of thing. Or it could work like graphics cards, where you can have like a 620 graphics card come from EVGA and Logitech and whatever, and it really doesn't matter which one you go for. So it's interesting stuff for sure. And price wise, apparently, the price is going to change how the system works. So there's going to be a low-end model and a high-end model, and
that's smart.
Yeah, right. And but
definitely.
it's not just going to be like hard drive space or anything like Xbox low-end and high-end.
Yeah, sure.
But it's going to be how it works internet-wise. So it's kind of a LAN box. So basically, what happens is it streams your Steam from it to a television. So it's kind of like OnLive. If you guys ever heard of OnLive, they recently went under, actually. But it's just OnLive was like a stream games to your computer through the internet, so you can play Far Cry 3 on a netbook, and it wouldn't really matter as long as you had a good internet connection. The problem is with OnLive is that there's no good internet connections around. It's not consistent enough, so it was way ahead of its time. Steambox is kind of averting that issue by saying the Steambox is the server, so it's all kind of on a local area network. And what's cool about that is you can apparently have up to 8 TVs on the Steambox in your house at any given time, and you could have 8 people in 8 different rooms playing their own game on Steam or playing together.
That's the cool part to me. I see that being like the way of the future after cable goes away.
Yeah, definitely.
You get a Steam box, connect that to the internet, and then you can watch like Netflix on any TV in the house,
right,
at the same time, and they're all wirelessly connected to this one central box, and that is cool.
Yeah, and you can also stream it to your cell phone and stuff too, because it's just a streaming service. So, which is really cool. So you can play any Steam game you want on your touchscreen. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be as good if you were playing, like, say, Isaac on a touchscreen with a virtual keyboard. I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
But I don't know how any of this is going to work.
Well, have you seen NVIDIA's new project that they're coming out with?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's another news item.
I think that's technology that could go hand in hand with the Steambox really easily. For those who haven't seen this, NVIDIA's project, they call it like Shield or something.
Yeah.
And it's a handheld console that it looks a lot like a Wii U controller in that there's a controller like slapped on to a touchscreen, like an iPad, with a controller sticking out of it.
Yep.
And I could definitely see that being like the peripheral for the Steambox, where everybody has these screens, and the Steambox just streams games to the screen, and then you play them with your controller.
Yep. Yeah.
And
that's definitely,
And as internet as wireless internet becomes more like a thing that's everywhere, I could even see like you take your Shield device on the bus or something, and you're still streaming over the internet from your Steambox at home, playing a game.
Yeah.
On your device.
One thing
that would
that
be
I'm
fucking
wondering
cool
about the Steambox is, are you going for multiplayer games? Are you going to be able to play with someone that's on a computer on your Steambox?
Oh yeah, I'd really imagine that it's going to be running PC versions of games.
Yeah, they even said that there's going to be like a Linux box version where you could just run Linux on the Steambox as opposed to running whatever their OS.
I think it's going to come default. I think it's going to come default with Linux on it.
Yeah,
and then you can change that to Windows if you want, but they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on developers as Windows 8 becomes more prominent to just make things Linux compatible so they can be on the Steambox.
Right. Yeah.
Seems to be their plan anyway, which is great.
Exactly.
This is the push that Linux has needed for a really, really, really long time.
Yep. I also think that this is, to Cameron's point, this is exactly what Valve wants to do. They want to just blur the lines between console and PC gaming. They want to say, fuck the old standards. Steam is your library for games. It's as useful and nice as it is on PC, and you're basically playing console games on a console. If you feel like you want to sit on a couch and play games, that's fine, but use Steam because it's a convenient software, and hey, we can make a lot of money doing this as well. So it's a good idea. It's saying like fuck these old standards. Fuck the difference between PC and console users, and like PC master race. Just make it the same thing, which makes so much more sense too. Just bringing everybody together. Yeah.
Because it's like the separation between the two only hurts gamers. Like I'm a PC gamer, you know, and there are a few things on consoles that I would really like to be able to play, but I'm not allowed to because Xbox is trying to force me to buy their like several $100 piece of hardware to play fucking like Spelunky on the Xbox Live Arcade.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's just that only hurts people because now
Yep.
I can't buy Spelunky. That hurts the developer of Spelunky, and I'm not going to buy an Xbox, so it's not really helping Microsoft. And I can't play the game I want to play, which hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
And since this is basically a small computer that is, you know, semi-portable, will you be using a keyboard or will it be like a special controller for the Steam box?
Well, actually,
I'm almost sure you can put like keyboards and mice into it.
you can actually put, basically, from what they've shown, and obviously this is also conjecture, but they've shown images of the Steam box of the XI3, and it doesn't actually have like controller ports or anything. It just has USBs. It has like 6 USBs. I imagine that they're USB 3.0s as well. So whatever,
Yeah.
if they're gonna launch with their own controller, it's gonna be USB. And
Yeah.
I think
And which is what controllers already are. PS3
Exactly.
is USB, Xbox 360 is USB,
It makes
mouse
sense,
and
it's the
keyboard is
fastest.
USB. You could,
yeah,
yeah. So you could just put whatever the hell you want into it. But it's a PC.
right.
Yeah.
You know, it's very similar to a PC in that you can do. It's a PC that's trying to have the convenience of a console.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
That could also be its main downfall, but I can see it working both ways where console gamers are suddenly like, oh, I can play PC games, I'll totally buy that. But I
Right,
can
yeah.
also see a lot of people going, well, I already have a computer, so why the hell? See, like you guys are currently doing, and me too. I mean, like, I
That's
don't
where I
need
am.
it because I already have a PC.
Right.
Yeah, I already have a $1,000 plus computer, so I don't really want to buy another one that's small and a cube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is going to be the weird thing, is that are they going to get the adopters from the PC gaming crowd? And
Yeah.
the secondary question to that is, are they going to need them, really? Because, I mean, it's all going to run Steam anyway, so basically they're just expanding their digital distribution service to people who are already using the TV. So, like I imagine they're taking a loss. Like, anytime any company ever releases a console, they take a huge loss for about 3 years until they start making revenue again. And I think that's fine, and I think they're also cutting costs by doing it the way that they're doing it, by allowing third-party companies to come in and make the Steam boxes for them using their hardware sites and factories. So I think that doesn't really even concern them that much, whether or not there's going to be PC adopters.
You know,
Is-
I kind of get the feeling though that there's also kind of like a secondary market for, let's say I'm a hardcore Steam nut, and my sister or my wife isn't, right? They prefer to play console games. They say, okay, I'm going to give you a Steam box. Here you go. Now you can play with me. You know.
Yeah, now we can play together because
Right.
we're not separated. Yeah, totally.
So there's
Yeah, no,
that
exactly.
as a secondary market, which I'm thinking that maybe Valve is somewhat counting on, at least to a certain degree.
Yeah.
When I hear about the Steam box, I don't feel like they're really trying for the PC market, because what it is, essentially, it's a PC. There's
Right.
very little difference between the Steam box and a PC. What they're trying to do is saying, hey, console gamers, you're about done with your 8-year-old console, right? Why don't you adopt this console instead of the other ones that are coming out, because this one's going to be way the fuck cooler.
Right, and they already have the biggest fucking library. Like, one of the shittiest things about consoles, and one of the reasons that they have such losses in the early years, is because there's no library. There's nothing. You can play, like, probably backwards compatible games, but you already have your Xbox 360. I'm not gonna, like, not many people bought out new console cycles. Not a lot of people are early adopters. This is just like,
Yeah.
you already have the whole Steam library at your fingertips. What I'm also expecting to see is a huge explosion in indie game sales. I think that's going to be a big thing, because just because there is such a breadth of indie games that only come out on PC. This is saying, and to a large part Ouya is as well, that hey, you guys can be on console, and you don't have to do a stupid exclusivity agreement for a year or 6
Oh my
months or
God.
however long it is for, like, Spelunky and Fez, who obviously want to release on Steam, but they can't because of stupid exclusivity agreements. You know?
Yep. Yeah, indie gaming is a fucking disaster on Xbox and PS3.
That was
It's so
actually the
bad.
first thing that got that probably the reason I even got into PC gaming was that just Dungeon Defenders was on the Xbox, and I had never really played any PC games before then, and I played it. And then I went to the forums because I wanted to know more about the game, because it was one of those games where you have to know a lot of the, strategies and things like that. And I noticed all these missions and maps and DLCs and all these things that I didn't have. And they were actually, most of them were free. And I was like, well, wait, are we going to get this on the console? And turns out none of the free updates that were on the PC were going to go to the console.
Yeah.
You know why that is?
Because-
To release an update on Xbox,
God.
you have to pay like $30,000 fucking dollars.
40,000.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why Fez
Yeah.
wasn't able to be patched, because they were like,
Yeah.
I mean, we will be spending any revenue we've made on just patching the game.
It's insane. It's
Yeah.
it's fucking insanity. It is
Yeah.
the worst idea ever. And that's not just for indie games either. Like I play Battlefield 3 on the PC. Patches are very rare for that. And it's really impacts the game. For a long time, there was one item that was just broken because it was shooting assault rifle bullets instead of shotgun pellets, and it just ruined the game. And they couldn't patch it for months because they had to wait until they were ready to push the next patch. Because guess what? It costs them $40,000 goddamn dollars every time they want to patch the game on consoles, and they're not going to just make a PC update without being able to put it on consoles as well. So they just didn't. It's insane.
The other shitty thing, even for mainstream AAA developers, like you're saying, like with Battlefield, is why there has been this explosion of. I mean, is of course partially this, and partially because they want to make more money. But do you know why that there's day one DLC, or that became so prevalent? It's because there is a accreditation process when you submit your game to the Xbox's library. There's a process that takes many months of them reviewing the game and saying whether or not they're allowed to be on Xbox. And in that time, that 6-month time frame, 3-month to 6-month time frame, developers are still
They just
making
make some DLC.
Exactly, they make
Yeah.
some stuff for the game, which is why I'm okay with some day one DLC, because it's just like, well, I mean, they had the finished
it's not
game
their
and they
fault.
submitted it, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's silly. It's all a bunch of silliness.
It's a fine line though. When you talk about first day DLC, very,
Right.
very fine
Yeah, it
line.
depends. Yep.
Obviously, yeah, because I mean, it is also just obviously you see this explosion in it and people are just doing it, but for a large part you can see a lot of it is aesthetic stuff, and that's mostly because the art team has nothing to do after 2/3 through the game development cycle as well, and yeah, it's all, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I think Steam is trying to break in and say, hey, there's a lot of, actually that's what Gabe Newell even said, is like, there's a lot of things we really don't like about the console game market, and we want to fix it. Which is cool, because that's exactly what happened with Steam in the first place, right? Is they were like, wow, PC game market is really stupid. We want to change that and make it make sense. I mean, Steam is like the biggest combatant of against piracy, because they make it really convenient to have all your games in one library, and cheap, and Steam sales all the time. I mean, once people get their hands on the Steam box and they see the Steam sales that all the PC people see, I think that there's going to be a lot of adopters.
Oh, when I saw the first Steam sale I ever saw, I was just blown away. I was like, you can do this?
Yeah, me too.
You can get a game for like $10, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
I bought like Just Cause 2 in one of my first Steam sales. I was like, $5 fucking dollars? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's insane.
I think a huge upside to the Steam box will also be that a lot of people out there have really crappy computers. And so they can't play the cool games that everyone else can play because their computers
but they
are a
don't
piece of
know
crap.
how to upgrade.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they're afraid to order a graphics card, have to open their fucking computer, take it out while like pushing on the motherboard and shit. It's a scary procedure if you're not familiar with modding a computer, to mod a computer.
But
and
they also don't want to buy a new computer at the same time.
Yeah,
So it is
totally.
highly dependent on how much the Steam box is going to cost at the end of the day. Is it going to cost less than buying a new computer or more? Because if it costs more, then I'd rather just buy a new computer.
my guess is going to be less. Because
Yeah,
that's
I
how
would think
consoles
so.
generally work.
Yep.
Is that they sell it at a loss, expecting to make money back from the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, so it could be a really great way to break into the PC market for sure.
definitely. I think the idea is standardization of gaming. It's like exactly what you guys are all saying is, I don't want a PC, I'll just buy the Steam box instead, and I don't have to worry about upgrading and stuff. And if you make it a moddable console like they're doing, I don't know how easy that's going to be. From the picture they showed...
I guess it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it should be.
Like, have you ever changed a hard drive on a laptop?
No, actually.
No.
It's really... You like, unscrew a screw, pop out the hard drive, slide the new one in, screw the screw back in.
Cool.
Oh, right,
I'll
yeah.
just go fix my old laptop then.
There you go. Yeah, it's on my old laptop anyway. It was like unbelievably easy to switch the hard drive, and I could easily see them if they design it well, making it so you can do that for all the parts. They're just in a little box, and you can just slide it in.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I was cleaning the fan on my laptop a couple months ago. Then it's just terrifying because everything is just so compact.
Oh yeah, laptop maintenance is really difficult, and a lot of part changing is impossible on laptops. But they do the hard drive well because that's a common failure point that isn't that bad to replace.
Mm. Yep. Yeah, my hard drive actually blew out twice. The second time I just got a new computer, but yeah, that shit happens often for some reason.
Yeah,
on laptops.
Yeah, it's interesting. They also said, though, which is weird, there's a lot of conflicting stuff, is that you can run a dedicated server, not like a dedicated server, but a dedicated PC to stream the games to the Steam box to your TV kind of thing, which, I don't know exactly how that would work, but it kind of works like that. I think just having the idea of it on a local area network on live makes so much sense because there's no ping. There's no, it's zero MS, basically, functionally.
Yeah, totally. Which
is so smart, because it's just like, on live didn't work because people don't have consistent internet connections. How do we solve that problem? Well, make it all LAN. It's a lot of smart thinking over at Steam.
It's good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of information comes out as it develops.
Yeah, more details. I wonder if they're going to run something at E3. That would be really interesting. If they have their own show floor.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yep. They'll probably announce Half-Life 3 as well. Steambox exclusive.
That would be funny. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, funny but also terrible.
Yeah, well, I don't think that
would
Valve
defeat the entire point of the Steambox.
Exactly.
I don't think they're going to do
it. It's going to be PlayStation Vita exclusive.
Oh, Jesus. That'd be the worst.
Yeah.
Do people even have the Vita anymore? Or ever?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think there's a giant landfill next to the landfill of ET cartridges somewhere. Just full of this.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, I mean, this also is going to try to blur the line between handheld gaming. I mean, phones have blurred the line of handheld gaming, and that's, I think, largely why no handhelds like the Vita or the PSP or the DS or the 3DS are selling that well, is because I don't need my Game Boy anymore. I have my phone. I have a smartphone. It can play games probably better than the hardware that you have on your DS, and probably not, but still, it's getting there.
You don't want to buy another device when you already have one.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be better enough that it overcomes that barrier of, I can already play play games on my phone, so why do I need another gaming device?
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, speaking as a dirty, filthy casual who also is busy, up to my ears busy most of the time. Like, most of the gaming I've gotten in over the last week has been just 2 minutes at a time on my phone. And it's so convenient, just there, So there's no need for a Vita. My 3DS is collecting dust.
Right.
Oh, well, this guy thinks you're stupid. Shad Maria forever.
No, I agree with him right now because I haven't seen a single game on a mobile device that I would legitimately play. I get it's probably going to be that way eventually, but right now it's like you can play Angry Birds if you're waiting at the doctor's office or something, but playing on your phone, when is that really going to be applicable where you're very rarely on a long journey?
Okay, you know that people have daily commutes on buses, right?
Yeah.
No, but I can understand that. But I wouldn't, when I play games, I don't want to play a game for like 20 minutes. I want to play, if it's an actual game, I at least want to play for an hour.
I mean, on one hand, I hear you because I'm kind of the same way. On the other hand, you are not the target market for mobile games.
I guess that's completely true. But
I think it's not even just that. It's that, that those games that you play for hours are not the target games for handhelds either.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing is like if I'm going to develop a game and I'm going to develop it for say 3DS or handheld any kind of handheld device, even if it's a phone, I'm not going to make a game. I'm not going to make a Dark Souls on the phone or something because it's
your mission statement has to be short game times.
Right, because
has to be, or it's not going to work.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like, well, I could play it here, or I could just play it on my screen if I'm going to play for an hour instead of straining my eyes on a little fucking tiny thing, you know. So I don't think that it's viable. Obviously, it's not going to be as viable on handheld and phones and smartphones to make like AAA mainstream titles. But their own sect of gaming, sure. I don't see why not, because it's the same thing. It's like Green was saying, like, I play my phone when I'm, like, riding on the train or riding on a bus or something, and that's what you play your Game Boy with, too, like, back in the day, anyway.
Yeah.
I played on the school bus, or...
Yeah.
We're going to need to ditch the touchscreen only, though, if that's going to become applicable, because that's just get...
Well,
I think we need better touch screens.
In
that too,
NVIDIA
but I mean,
Shield.
your thumbs are on like 2/3 of the screen when you're playing it, like on an iPhone.
Yeah,
it's
fat ass.
horribly inefficient. Well,
Nice
math
sausage
and such.
fingers. No, but what I think is going to happen is that somebody's going to develop a material that can give you some force feedback, give you some changed textures on the surface of the screen, maybe some slightly raised sections of the screen that's going to better simulate buttons. And
Right.
then
I
with
still
that,
don't want to be touching the screen though. I want to be able to see the entire screen if I'm playing a game.
I think you're going to grow out of that when the technology gets good enough that it really does feel like just pushing buttons.
Mm-hmm. And also, you know, you see a lot of problems because a lot of games, like, you have to keep in mind that the whole mobile gaming thing has only been around for like 2 years, 3
Yeah.
tops. So, like, really, we don't really know yet. We don't know. Developers don't know what works perfectly. Like, the things that work really well right now is like one-button gaming, like the infinite runners
Yeah.
and stuff. Because you don't have
because
to
it's
block
so
the screen.
imprecise and so poorly implemented right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that sell the best, is because they work with the medium. You know, there are a lot of games out there on mobile that don't work with the medium, and the developers don't realize that they don't work with touchscreens. So, you know, there's definitely a market for it, and also they sell super well. And the other thing too is there's a huge store. If you have the App Store or whatever Google's thing is, the
Google
Android
Play.
market.
Google
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah, right. It works exactly the same as Steam. It's just a convenient place to look for every game that you could possibly get on this thing, and that's why it's growing so fast. Same with Facebook games too, which have gotten extremely popular over the years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think Facebook games are starting to hit a wall. I would say mobile games
think so
are
as
a
well.
market that's still expanding. But Facebook games, they might be in some trouble now, I'm thinking.
It's Facebook
middle-aged
in
women
general,
are
though.
collectively tired of clicking on things every day.
Cloudking.
Yeah.
to
Cloudking.
create
Right.
their calculator or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just getting to that point where people are like, okay, I've seen a lot of like mafia simulators where every day I fucking like give my friend a mob hit or something, and they're just tired of the genre,
Yeah.
which makes sense because it was a new genre for a while, and they got a lot of like non-gamers into it that wouldn't have normally been into games at all, and now that whole market is just like, well, sick of it now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they found... I think the idea with Facebook is that there's a huge market. I mean, it's the same reason that you post videos on YouTube as opposed to posting it on, like, streamingvideos.com.org.net. You know? Like, you post it there because there's a huge... there are a bunch of people looking. And that's the same thing with Facebook, because that's why there was an explosion in Facebook games, is because there's fucking millions of people on Facebook.
Right.
I think largely you see that kind of plateau of Facebook games, though, is also because Facebook is kind of dying to a degree as well.
Yeah, I was gonna
so-
say it's
God,
a
I hope
really
so.
shoddy platform to release your game on, because Facebook is like one of the largest social networking sites ever, and they can't make any money somehow.
Right. Yeah.
They're like... I heard recently that they were like selling the ability to talk to blocked people on Facebook, or like
Really?
people who have blocked you.
What?
That's
That
not true.
was-
That can't be true. I don't think
It's
they would
not
do
true
that.
yet. It was pitched.
Okay.
It was
well,
like, yeah,
wow.
get back to your ex who hates you. Just
Oh,
pay us $1 and we'll
wow.
let you send a message to
yeah,
her.
that's not. I don't
And
think
that's
they would
like-
do that.
That's the end of Facebook. Right there, if that
Hashtag
happens.
another reason not to have Facebook.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think I think Facebook sees what happened with MySpace and is just like, I don't know if we want to go down that road until they're sure they for sure know that Facebook is dead. Like, they're not going to do that kind of a thing. Because you see what MySpace did, and they just, like, ruined themselves and ran their company into the ground, and voila, Facebook came and took over as the main social network site. But yeah, I agree with all things said.
But
you know what I want to see is
people.
You remember that movie that was made about the creation of Facebook? What was it called? Like the Social Network?
Yeah.
I want to see the Social Network 2 after Facebook fails.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
The downfall of Zach.
Yeah.
I forgot
the Social
his name.
Network 2.
Zuckerberg.
There we
Darkness
go.
falls.
Zuckerberg.
In a world where Facebook has failed, one man
Just a whole
loses
bunch
all of his
on the
money.
street.
What do you think people will go to after Facebook? I mean, people
another
need
social
to
network.
tell the people what they feel because it's
True.
just this weird.
Maybe Twitter will expand into like Facebook 2.0. That would
It's gonna be a consolidation of internet resources, I think, because
Yeah.
I mean, you already see, like, if you look at the internet map, there's actually let me see if I can find it, but there's like a map of most viewed sites and stuff, and they show their relative size compared to other things. There's already just like 5 that get 1,000 times more page views than any other site on the internet, right? So it's just going to be more and more consolidation. Eventually, like, you see Google is actually trying to do that with YouTube. They're linking YouTube and Google Plus and whatever. They just want a consolidation and say, like, hey, here's the site that you go to if you want to talk to your friends and play games and do all this shit, watch videos. You know, you go to this one place, and that's what everyone is trying to strive for, I think. And that's what I think we're going to see in the future as well. Probably.
Yeah. I wonder if at any point we'll see Google go like Roman Empire. Just like, they're too big, the whole thing topples over,
Yeah.
and there's like chaos and dark ages in the internet. Like, nobody knows where to post videos anymore.
We all have to use Apple Maps now? No!
Oh, God.
Yeah. Go back to fucking, what was the map thing before Google Maps?
MapQuest.
Oh, MapQuest? Yeah.
MapQuest!
Yeah.
MapQuest, that was it.
I was so amazed when I first saw MapQuest. So amazed.
Yeah.
This is the future, guys.
Yeah.
I was the same. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Yep.
And then Google's like, we got to plan it.
Yeah, and Google's like,
Right,
we're
yeah.
better. We could do this better, guys. We're
Yep.
gonna do it, but with satellite images of everything, and images of everything from the street.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
you, MapQuest.
You know, 2 points about that, actually, is, I forget, Google got sued in some country. I forget where it was. It might have been, like, Greece or something. I don't remember. But basically what happened was they were sued by map-making companies because they were like, hey, this is fucked up. This is our livelihoods, and you're just giving it away for free. And Google's response basically in the court was like, yeah, that really sucks that we're giving away a free service and we're doing it better than the paid services. Whatever, fine. We'll leave
Yeah,
this country
exactly.
then. You know, like, they're like,
That's
whatever.
insane.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so silly. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you can't make maps. I make maps and sell them.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
You're not allowed to have competition in business. That's not how it works.
Yep. Yeah, especially when they're giving it
Yeah.
away all for free. And the other thing, too, is Facebook dying. You know, the thing about Facebook is they store...
Wait, Facebook denying like you last hit somebody else's post?
Yeah,
or
right,
something?
exactly. Yeah, you just deny them from ever joining Facebook in the first place. No, but the Facebook dying, like
dying. Sorry.
the thing is that's really funny about Facebook. You saw they unveiled Timeline a couple months ago, where it's like they show you back to when you joined Facebook and all like highlights of your Facebook time, and it's stupid. But basically, Facebook keeps everything. So everything you type is kept on their servers. Everything. Your chat, your pictures, everything, and that's because they want to be a photo album, right? They want to be something that you can look back on 20 years from now and be like, oh, look at that thing I did on Facebook when I was 15.
Can you imagine if we're in 20 years we're looking back at Facebook posts?
Yeah,
That's
right.
a nightmare scenario.
But
That is scary.
here's the bad
Somebody
thing.
should make a sci-fi movie about that dystopian future.
Oh, God,
Facebook still
terrible.
exists in 20 years.
But here's the bad thing though about it is because they store all of that shit, and part of the reason that they're operating at a loss, despite the fact that their biggest social network on the internet is because they save everything. Like something like 40% of their servers are filled with 3 letters, LOL. That's it. Like 30 or 40% of their servers are filled with that. And
That makes perfect sense.
yeah, and they can't
And the rest
do
is
anything
like
about
fag.
it. Right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I wonder
sad.
what percentage is ROFL and
Yeah.
LMAO.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
all
40%
pointless
lol, and the
acronyms.
rest are just stupid pictures with likes on them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
pictures
exactly.
of cats with subtitles or captions.
Yeah,
No, they're,
Yeah.
they're all like
Yeah.
mirror pictures.
yeah, right. Yeah. MySpace. So is that awkward
Shirtless teenage boys flexing in the mirror.
angle.
Yep.
Going out tonight, bitches.
Actually, now that I say that, I really want to get access to these databases.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
seriously.
Yeah.
Taking Facebook creeping to a whole nother level.
Facebook
Yeah.
is worse than the NSA.
I just imagine
That would be another thing. Can you imagine how great it would be if Facebook let you pay to see private profiles? Oh man, I'd be into that. I'd
be
spend so
ridiculous.
much money, like more money than I would spend on League of Legends.
Oh, you're just admitting it now, Green.
Yeah, Green, you're opening up.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
something you would post on Facebook that you would regret.
yeah. Yeah, somebody's now going to post this podcast on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah, I
main
wouldn't be
thing
surprised.
where the main attribute for Google is that they don't come off like they're trying to make money from you at all. Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's the best part about
You
Google.
go on Yahoo and there's ads everywhere, and I've never
Oh,
been on
God, the
Bing,
Yahoo
but I'm
ads.
sure there's at least a couple ads. Yeah, on Google you have ads, but they're not like so obnoxious that it's like on the homepage
Yeah, well-
you don't see a bunch of ads and stuff like that. And they're also innovating. So like Google Maps, that was sweet. And also, Rob, you told me this a while back. They lost one of their servers, and no one could figure out what it was because it was so advanced.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit that happened a couple months. Basically, what happened was these people found like this stray metal box that had a bunch of weird ports that like these were engineers. They took it to an engineering company and they were like, "What the hell is this thing? Like we think
It's alien
a server."
technology!
Yeah, they're like, we think it's a server, but we don't know. These ports don't make sense. Google was just
can't be
making
sure.
some shit that just wouldn't work anywhere else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yep.
ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Google is run by aliens. They also built the pyramids.
Yeah, Google in 200 years creates a time machine and goes back and helps people make the pyramids.
There it is. We did it. We figured it out.
We're getting so many great movie ideas.
Oh my god, that would be the best thing
Oh
ever.
man.
Ugh.
Okay.
No, but yeah, back to Google Ads. Like the great thing about Google Ads is that they're actually relevant to you a lot of the time.
Yep.
So it doesn't. They do ads in the perfect way where you see some text that lets you know about something you might actually legitimately want to know about,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and that's your ad.
Yeah.
So good.
Fucking Yahoo, they have ads that take pop up to a whole new level. It's not a window.
And they like flash and talk to you.
No, they're the ones that any ad that makes sound can go die in
Yeah.
eternal hellfire
Fuck.
death.
Yep.
But
Unless it's on my YouTube channel. Wink, wink.
well, but no, Yahoo, the ad it won't be a separate window. You can't close it, and it will be from like the ad will be there in a little square on the side, off to the side where it should be, and it will fucking grow and expand across the entire screen,
Oh, yeah.
and it'll be like a fucking car or something. It'll spin around, and do an
It'll
animation
be like,
for like 15
hit this target
seconds.
3 times to win $1 million.
And you can't click on anything. You can't do anything about
Yeah.
it. You have to sit and watch.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want me to not be on your website ever?
Yeah, it's this huge internet war between, like, sites that do everything well and make you want to look at them, and just sites that are just like, I've got an idea, why don't we just make the most obnoxious shit, and people will still come to our website for some reason,
Yeah.
even though we're competing with Google.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been like scared shitless like 3 times at Imgur because of their ads that pop up. They're really loud.
Yep.
Because I'm not expecting a sound, and all of a sudden, did you know that you can? That's
I
like,
use
whoa,
AdBlock on
jeez.
Imgur for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the reason. That's the reason that I was alluding to why MySpace failed is because what's his face? Rupert Murdoch bought MySpace and was like, let's just shovel a bunch of fucking ads on it, and then people stopped. Sure, they made a lot of short-term money, but then nobody goes on MySpace anymore. So that's the
Does
thing.
MySpace still exist?
Yeah, it still exists. It's actually
it's
like
music.
Oh my
yeah, it's like a music thing now. Is what
Yeah.
it
Oh,
does.
okay.
I think
Yeah.
once a site gives you the impression that they're trying to kind of sell to you or just sell themselves. Like for example, the Bing commercials where it's like, oh hey, we did a random test, a blind test where people did a search on Bing and then they did a search on Google, and all of them chose Bing. But you have never once seen a Google ad where it's like, yeah, we're better than every fucking buddy ever.
Yeah. Nor have you
they
ever
know
met
it.
anybody who prefers Bing.
Yep.
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's just,
Bing is they have nice background pictures sometimes.
yeah.
Well,
But Google
okay.
Google is like the popular kid in high school. It seems like they're not trying at all, and that's why
Yeah.
they're so goddamn cool.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Words of wisdom from Cameron.
Well, I think it goes back to like what we were saying in the last podcast is like brand awareness kind of thing. It's like either you have a fucking amazing product that's better than everything else on the market, or you market the shit out of it. And Google doesn't market anything. Like there's no marketing for Google. It's just like, hey, we do everything better than everyone else. Come here. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's no need. It's all word of mouth because everybody's like, can you believe this unbelievable shit that's on Google?
yeah.
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 They just do it
And
well.
of course, nobody can believe it because by definition it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they just do it
So-
well, and it's not
Yeah.
sold to you at all. Period.
Yep.
And so you don't feel like, oh, if I go on Google, then I'm losing the battle between, customer and salesman.
Yeah.
'Cause what-
So anyway, video games. I just realized we're like not talking about video games anymore at all.
something that Rob actually told me earlier today, and this is really cool. I checked it out. The Mario mod for Super Skyrim Bros.
Yep.
What?
Oh,
Super Skyrim
what
Bros.
is that?
What?
It's
Yeah,
basically the whole world modded into Super
Oh, I
Okay,
gotta
I
check
might have
that
to
out.
re-download Skyrim for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, they did
So
it's
everything-
an entire world.
Is it like, okay, what era is it? Is like Super Mario World or like Mario Galaxy or what?
It's like world. It's like, they don't fundamentally change how Skyrim works. Like you're still like the character is like the Skyrim character and the Skyrim animations and stuff.
Sure.
Except he's wearing a Mario suit. And
Oh.
it's just
And then just everything is like monochrome textures and like happy clouds in the sky and shit.
yeah,
Please
yep,
tell me yes.
basically.
Yeah,
Yep.
essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
And you
linked
Yes.
a Google image search in the Twitch chat.
Do they turn the mountains into like little like weird cylindrical like vaguely dick shaped things with eyes?
I don't think they have any of those, sadly. Wait,
Yeah,
that would be
oh,
so
maybe
awesome.
they do. Yeah, but I don't know.
That looks amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh, man.
Google image searched that. It looks
Okay, wait.
really fucking
Okay.
cool.
Homework for everybody. Play that and we'll talk about it next week on the podcast.
Yep,
Yeah,
I will
that's
do
a good
that.
idea.
Yeah.
I only have Skyrim on the console.
And you can even fight Bowser in it.
Yep.
Oh fuck. That's so cool.
That's pro.
I'm just gonna like level up my fireball skill.
I'm going to level up my acrobatics. So does it
Yeah,
even exist
acrobatics.
in Skyrim anymore? I don't
No, it
remember.
doesn't.
Yeah,
No,
I was
that's Morrowind.
living in before, I think.
Fucking
Yeah.
Skyrim, man. We already talked about Skyrim on the first stream, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Why I don't like it, and that made a lot of people mad at me.
No,
Apparently, the
Hashtag
reason,
Green hates mainstream games.
the me not liking Skyrim very much, not hating it, but just not being super overly positive about it, means that I hate all mainstream games. According to
It's
me.
funny because I said I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
that's okay.
Well, I was also trashing Far Cry 3
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
stream, so the combination.
So we've gone about an hour. Are there any more topics about video games that we need to address, or shall we just go to questions?
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody start asking your questions, and I'll collect them for the lightning round.
There's
The lightning round. I like how it's called that now, even though we
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
we talk about
lightning
questions for like
round.
20 minutes.
lightning
Lightning
round.
round.
We need a graphic for that so that when it shows up.
No, it needs to be that video of the guy throwing the lightning bolt, but it needs to be round instead of bolt.
Photoshop Pan's face.
Lightning round! Lightning round! Lightning round!
Lightning round.
Yeah, that is necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, so as Cam said, start asking your questions, and hopefully Cam will collect more than 4 this time.
Yep,
Yeah.
I will.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, try not to
that's
ask ones
like
that
in
are already
fairness to
asked.
Cam, a lot of people were really angry, but the reason he collected so few is because a lot of people were asking questions already answered on the first podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah,
your
so keep that
podcast,
in mind
if
as
your
well.
question doesn't get answered this time, maybe you should watch the lightning rounds in the previous podcasts and see if it was already addressed.
Whoa,
Yeah.
hold on a second. Sorry, I have another news information thing that I'm just looking at Rock Paper Shotgun.
Breaking news, everyone! From we'll go to our correspondent Alpaca Patrol out in the field. What do you got for us?
I'm here in Washington D.C. and new information about the
How did somebody with a stutter like this get on the news?
I don't know.
And now we go to our retarded correspondent, Rob.
Equal opportunity,
Whoa,
guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I'm looking at apparently something just went into closed beta. Mech Warrior Tactics, which if you ever heard tactics games, you can get the idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a turn-based Mech Warrior, which is very interesting.
Oh, well,
That
I
is
have
not being
no
familiar
idea
with
what
Mech
that
Warrior.
is.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but a turn-based strategy game where you control mechs sounds kind of neat.
yeah. Apparently, you can purchase your way into the closed beta at $20, $50, and $120 packages. And I don't know.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I bet I can get into that just by emailing him.
Yeah, probably. Interesting. Very,
We'll
very
see,
interesting stuff. But yeah, there are a couple things like a new trailer for Children of Liberty came out, which seems like a really, really interesting idea. So it's like a 2D stealth game, but it's set during the American Revolution, and you play children, and it's not like you do takedowns and stuff like Mark of the Ninja style type of stuff. It's like a pseudo 3D world. And it has really, really nice animations, like Banner Saga style animations.
Cool.
And it looks pretty cool. They added a lot of people were very critical of them when they first showed off their stuff because they were saying that the stealth wasn't emphasized. And apparently they just added vision cones to the British soldiers and stuff, and things like that to make the stealth more interesting. So yeah, so
Sounds cool.
That's new. Have you guys not heard of that? Children of Liberty?
Nope.
Well,
That's why you're the
was
news
breaking
respondent.
new Fallout New Vegas mod, which seems pretty cool. Project Brazil. Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah,
Project.
I like how that's the most excited I've been this entire time. Yes,
Fallout Vegas.
I
didn't
want
like
that.
Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, why don't you explain Project Brazil, Zen, if you know anything about it?
I know nothing about it because I only just saw it as soon as you prompted me to look at Rock Paper Shotgun. But I'll be reading all about it later on. That's what I'm doing.
See, you have to ask Zen about the Brazilian rainforest if you want to.
Yeah,
the actual
really.
stories out of it.
Yeah.
He's scoured the jungles of every jungle on Earth, searching for
Yeah,
the most
I'm like-
dangerous
Scoured the
animals.
jungle of every
The
jungle.
jungle
I'm not a good
guy is
writer,
the iPhone
okay?
guy, apparently.
Jungles within jungles.
Yeah. But it's apparently fully voiced, and it's a prequel to New Vegas where you play the main character from New Vegas, going from Mexico, or going from, Brazil. I'm stupid. Never mind. I'm just not even going to talk anymore, really. because-
Yeah, if we're gonna mix up the South American countries,
Yeah.
we should probably stop that.
That looks like that's the end of the news segment.
But yeah, you move from
Now
Brazil
we go
to
to
LA,
sports.
kind of thing.
Oh God,
Not
sports. If we want to totally just alienate our entire demographic, we should talk about sports.
Yeah. I know nothing about sports. The end.
Yeah, I'm
Peyton
Canadian,
Manning's
so,
a quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean,
how's the hockey scene?
I
Go
know,
back to
I know
Moose
about
Polo,
the
you
Vancouver Canucks,
fucking-
and that's about it.
Do you know about them, though, or do you know that they exist?
I know that they exist. I actually used to live right next to GM Place, and so I would be watching like a hockey game on the television, and I would be able to hear when they scored a goal on the buzzer before it went on
Oh.
TV.
That's actually pretty funny.
I felt
That's
really
funny.
privileged in that sense.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, someone actually just mentioned esports.
Oh,
Yeah. Anybody
Ooh,
have?
Interesting
esports
topic.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Esports is really cool because it is
We've
growing
been-
super hard in the past couple years in America, which is really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Me and Rob have been watching. Actually, pretty much all of us have been watching a lot of Dota tournaments, and they're surprisingly fun to watch. The most recent, the big international tournament that was what was that, like 3 or 4 months ago, something like that.
Yep.
I mean, if you guys have heard of the play, probably one of the only moments I've actually watched or I guess that's kind of a bad example, but I actually was up like on my feet screaming and yelling at this just one play in a video game online, and it was really weird, but It was kind of the same feeling you get when you watch someone score a touchdown or what is it called? Soccer, a goal, because most of our fans are probably good.
What is it called in soccer?
What is it called in
Goal.
that soccer game?
Goal!
Go, 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 go!
Actually, there was a moment in that same game where it's just like black hole, which is a power.
Who would win the fight, Zen or Total Biscuit? I can answer that one right now. It's Zen. Are you crazy?
Zen, I mean,
Zen
come on
would-
now.
Do you even
Gut Total
do
Biscuit,
you even lift, bro?
Make
I
a
mean,
suit
come on.
out of his skin so he could survive the night.
Just
Oh.
cut
He'd
open,
like
cut
crawl
open
inside of
Total
like,
Biscuit
man,
like a tauntaun.
and I thought he spelled that on the outside.
Aww.
Boom.
Yeah, let's just alienate anyone else who we could ever possibly talk to in the future on YouTube.
Yeah, there goes my chances of getting on the TGS podcast, which a few people were like.
He'll be
it
in
was
there
an
and
actual
Total Biscuit
thing.
will be like, do you remember that one time when you mentioned? Yeah, never forget.
Yep.
Yeah. But, yeah. Boobs.
Boobs.
One thing that Rob was talking to me about a long time. I keep saying interesting things that Rob has said to me, but that's like my main source of information a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, that's the main source of interaction for you.
One thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Shazam!
Jesus!
Yes, that's right. Thanks for telling me reminding
Jesus
me I have no friends.
Christ, Green.
I'm just kidding.
But one thing that
You
I
talk
think is
to us,
really
too.
interesting about the gaming industry is that it's one of the only things that you can buy broken.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you can
What?
buy a game and
Oh,
it will
yeah.
have like some stupid glitch that makes it so you can't get to the end of the game.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's
There was a massive glitch in Skyward Sword that if you did like something in a certain way, it was very easy to do, like a certain quest in a certain order. You would get stuck and you couldn't revert to the previous save. You were completely screwed. You had to restart the whole game.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because it was a Wii game. They couldn't really. The update's really hard to do on a Wii because they're not really supposed to do updates and patches.
Yeah,
But
Yep.
yeah, it was a huge debacle.
that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Skyrim, I had this glitch where I started a quest, and then I started another quest from like pretty much the same guy, and then the one guy would tell me to go to this other guy over and over and over. It was the king of the blue guys, and,
King of the Blue Guys.
King of the blue guys.
and he would just keep telling me to go to the guy, and it's like I've already done this, and this is a story quest, so I can't continue the game, so I had to start my
Yeah.
whole file over.
Yep. I had a
Did he have
similar
blue
experience in
blood?
Skyrim.
Recent problem I had with Far Cry 2, which I've been playing a little bit of, like, I had to go, and it has long cutscenes in the beginning, so I was like, okay, I'll just watch the rest of this cutscene, but then I really just have to save and quit and come back to it a little bit later. So I did that, I got out of the cutscene, I saved and quit, I came back, and it was telling me, okay, pick up your weapons, pick up your syringes, and save at the blue box. And I did all these things, and I was stuck, and I eventually reasoned that what happened was because I saved not using the blue box, I just saved from the pause menu, it was completely fucking broken because it wouldn't recognize, even after I saved with the blue box, that I had saved with the blue box. So I had to watch the entire, like, half hour of cutscenes again to get into the game. I was really pissed off about
That's
that.
terrible.
Yeah.
Before we get to the lightning round, I think we should tell the story of last night with
No,
Cameron.
God.
Oh,
Because
speaking of completely retarded things.
yeah. Well, I was attempting to record a Borderlands 2 video with Cameron last night.
Yeah.
Cameron decided that vodka was a thing and that he should have a lot of it.
Yeah, it was really funny. At the start of the recording, he seemed perfectly lucid and not very drunk at all to me.
Well, at the start of the recording, he did nothing but Bane for 20 minutes.
That's a fair point.
But
yeah.
he was lucid. Yeah, but he was lucid, and then very suddenly he like took several shots of vodka while we weren't looking or something.
Out of nowhere,
Yeah.
he was just gone.
He was gone, and he just
What
like
happened was I was recording, and Green and Rob weren't playing, but they were still in the video, and Cameron just walks off, like, totally in the wrong
yeah,
direction.
he's like, "Do you guys
into
think I
the
can
ocean."
swim away?" And he just starts trying to swim into the ocean.
And then he just sits there, and then he leaves.
He's like, "I'm lost, guys. I can't find land. I'm lost."
Yeah, and I died in the ocean.
Lost-
Thank you very
Lost
much.
in the ocean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I got,
and then-
Wow.
I got my humble pie at the end of the day. And then also, I did literally leave in the middle of
Just
the
left in the
just
middle
walked
of
away.
the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
we were
left
like,
my
"Wait, is
keyboard.
Cam gone?" Yeah, and we were like, "Okay, well, I guess we should stop this recording."
Yeah.
It's not
I
gonna
had to go to the washroom really badly.
Oh, don't call the washroom, you Canadian.
It's a washroom.
I had
You
to go to
wash
the
there.
water closet.
But yeah, that was a fun little Cameron story.
Yeah, that was really funny. And then he came back later, and we were like, you ruined a recording, right? And he's like, wait, we're not recording anymore. And this is like 10 minutes after we ended the recording. It was hilarious.
Yep.
And apparently, he was just still out there swimming at that point. But
Yep.
Austin had left the game completely.
He's like, why
Yeah,
were you
someone
killing
asked-
things?
Yeah, someone will ask me if I'll upload it. I might edit it down to that specific part and upload that.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah, we'll see.
It was really awkward, though.
It was pretty
Yeah, you
awkward
could edit
because
out
it was
the
just
awkward
silence.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Bane
Yeah.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
you
a lot
have
of
to
Bane,
include
and then
all
a-
the Bane though.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah,
that's
there's
like
a lot of-
30 minutes.
There's a lot of like Cam saying something silly, and then Rob and I not knowing how to respond to it because we can't see what's going on in the game. We're just like trying to like provide background commentary, and then Cameron would say something off the wall. Austin wouldn't be able to respond to it because it was just like weird, and Rob and I are just like, well, what are we gonna say about this?
Yeah.
So lots of awkward silence in that video for sure.
Yeah.
Which can be edited out. We can fix it in
Yeah,
post.
yeah, yeah. We can
We could-
edit that 30-minute video down to like 5 minutes of solid gold.
We
And
have
Bane.
the
Oh,
technology.
and then we recorded. I recorded like 20 minutes afterward, where Cameron just started asking the stupidest questions possible.
Yeah, he was like coming out of his like blackout drunk period. Where he could form sentences again. He did like when he came back, the first thing he did was just say a bunch of things that weren't words.
Oh,
This
yeah.
water is the fashizi nipple.
God damn it.
Are you fashizi? Because I'm totally fashizi.
Yep.
Why must this be included in the podcast?
Because you
it's
ruined
funny.
my recording.
Yes,
No.
I know.
Yeah,
We'll
he-
record
he
that at some time. You
ruined
should actually put
the
that in
recording.
the start with a little preface that says, this is how things went when we first tried to record this.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
just cut to like Cam in the water. I'm lost. What do I do? I can't find land.
And then I also
So we decided to
fucked up-
record again.
I fucked up the spawn point after that because after that, like me and
Oh
Wolf-
yeah, we started spawning in the ocean for some reason.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's
it's like, how
supposed
do
to
I-
happen.
Oh man, it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
And I was just looking around. I was like, "Where the fuck am I, dude?"
Yeah, it was messed up. But anyway, so people have
Wow.
stopped asking questions, so I think this would be a good point to move on to the lightning round.
All right.
I'm with it.
So first
down.
question for everyone: favorite GameCube game of all time?
Melee.
Hmm.
That's it. That's all I've ever played.
Melee.
Yeah.
Oh well, that makes it easy for you.
It's a fun game for sure. Let's see. Maybe Metroid Prime 1?
Yeah, that would be my number 2, but Twilight Princess would be my number 1.
Yeah.
I never played it on GameCube. I played it on Wii.
Yeah, it's worse on Wii than it is on GameCube. So
Yeah, it's way worse. Not
Is it
made
really?
for the Wii. Well, it's not made for the
Well,
Wii. It's like they were just
it's-
like,
yeah.
hey, we need a release title. Why don't you make a Wii port of Twilight Princess? And they're like, fuck it, whatever. We'll add light gun controls for the arrow. And it's just like, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And also
But it
it's-
wasn't. It didn't like degrade the experience. At least not as far as I could tell.
No, it's like playing on PC.
yeah, playing with the Wiimote would degrade the experience.
Yeah.
Didn't for me. It was like one of the least offensive uses of the Wiimote in any game ever.
Yeah.
Someone said Sonic Adventure 2. Ooh, someone said Fantasy Star Online. I played the shit out of that game.
I never played that.
It's
I
it's
wanted
a really weird game, and I never understood how it worked, but it was really fun to play.
Oh, actually,
Yeah, I
there's
wanted
one
that
more
game.
thing that I played on the GameCube. It's Fire Emblem, actually.
Oh.
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
I wanted that as well.
Yeah,
I'll
and
play
then
that too.
Cyrene actually got so into it that she started uploading speedruns of Fire Emblem onto YouTube.
Wow.
Wow,
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
she was hardcore about it. I was so surprised.
that's awesome. That's like me with Metroid Fusion. I did the same thing. Played the shit out of
Yeah.
that game when I didn't have internet for a year as a teenager.
Oh, wow.
Based on-
That sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
Based
Yeah, it
on
was bad
gameplay
stuff.
alone, I would have to say that Super Mario Sunshine was one of my favorites of all time.
That was a great game.
It's a good one.
It's a good game, yeah.
But if
Yeah.
I was
Louis-
going by hours played, it would have to be Monkey Ball.
Oh, Super Monkey Ball.
Why am I not
That's
surprised?
so much
Yeah.
fun.
That game pissed me off more than you
That
ever
game
know.
made me want to vomit, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was actually really cool. I liked Monkey Ball a lot.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah. They had
But,
there
someone
were
also
so many
mentioned-
good fucking party games.
Yeah.
in that game.
yeah.
It was
Well,
incredible.
That's Nintendo's thing though. Like that's
Yeah.
also the thing that they don't like. You know, it's funny because a lot of games have strayed away from it, but Nintendo still wants it to be that way. Like they feel like if you're gonna play multiplayer, you should play it in a room with a bunch of people. And to a large degree, I do agree. It is a lot of fun to like play with everyone there at the same time. And you see a lot of games
absolutely.
like turning off local co-op, which is just silly to me. Because it's like that gets a lot of sales. A lot of people like because you don't make as many sales from people wanting to play with their friends, and so it's a way to exploit them and be like, hey, you can't play local co-op. You each have to buy a copy. But but Nintendo's like, yeah, play with your friends alone together. Or that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. I'm gonna stop
play with
talking.
your friends alone.
Yeah,
That's
me and
possible
my
for
friends
me.
would play Pokemon Stadium a lot.
Oh,
on that.
Yeah,
man.
those fun times.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I'd like to preface the next question. Well, not really preface. I'd just like to note, side note here, that I totally regret saying that I like monkey balls because now everyone in the chat is saying Cam loves balls.
Oh my god.
Twitter quote.
That is
Hashtag
true.
Cam Smoky Balls.
Hashtag Cam goes ape over monkey balls.
That's just a headline. That's not even a hashtag.
I
It's
know.
like in the newspapers.
Cam goes ape over monkey balls. More at 11.
Anyway, next question is, what is the stupidest thing you have ever done in your entire life?
Oh fuck.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
Lots of events.
I know.
Well, I don't know if I can pick out one specific
If
thing.
you had to pick one thing as the dumbest thing.
One time I complimented Cameron.
Oh, there we go. Good night, everyone.
No,
I'll
the
be here on
dumbest
Thursday.
thing I've ever done, but not necessarily the funniest things, when I jumped off the landing of a staircase without realizing how tall I am because I'm 6 foot, right? And I hit my head on an overhang, and then I landed on my hips at the bottom of the stairs on tiles.
Oh.
So, and then I...
Oh, that sounds like it would be hilarious for like a 2
I
seconds.
know, my friends saw me like bleeding on the floor, and I had to be
Yeah.
taken to the emergency room.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
So, like,
That's
is it not
serious
funny? Dumb?
No, yeah. Not funny.
I don't know about dumbest thing. I have a lot of dumb moments in my life, but there was one that's kind of exceptionally funny to me. Is one time in my first year of college, we went to some stupid frat party thing. I'm not proud of it, and, and not proud of that point in my life. But basically, we were going back to the dorms, and I was just like, "Hey, why don't we just run?" And the people I was with just didn't really even question it. They were like, "All right." So we all started running. I didn't realize that I was in upstate New York and it was wintertime. And what happens? So basically, there are like paved roads that are like tar or asphalt or whatever, and the next to them is grass, obviously. Well, it had been raining a lot, and I was running, and then there just was a ditch, basically. But that it was completely up to the regular asphalt, and it was just grass and mud, and my foot goes into it so that it goes all the way up, like halfway up my shin, and I just fall flat on my face, running top speed, and now I'm covered in mud, and I just felt really dumb. So there's that.
Oh, well, oh man, I don't know if this is hard to think of one thing, but
Yeah.
I remember at my mother's wedding, we had...
This is gonna be good.
Yeah. Well, we had an ATV at our place. We have a very large property, and we had an ATV. Yeah.
Oh boy.
This is great already.
Oh god, there's worse stories. I didn't do the worst thing to it, but all the kids that would come would want to ride on the ATV and have fun because I don't know, you go into the woods and drive around and it was fun.
Sure.
And I had my friend here and I wanted to show him how fast it went because that's what you do.
Stories never start
And
well when they start like that.
Yeah. And so I decided at the same time, I'm gonna hit this hill. And it's like it was the hill up to our driveway. It's like not steep, but it was still decent ways. So we hit this hill going as fast as you can on this ATV as a backyard wedding is happening.
Oh my god.
And we fly.
Oh man.
And we get air on this thing that's not supposed to get air. And we didn't crash it, luckily, but the thing just makes the worst noise in the world. Everyone at the wedding is like fucking losing it. We got a stern talking to for sure.
Yeah.
But I was proud of myself for not flipping it, because 3 people I know have flipped it besides myself.
Wow. I'm surprised that I honestly thought that story was going to end like, yeah, we ran right into the reception, killed like 4 people. It was a dark time in my life.
No.
Yeah, I thought it was
like that.
I thought it was gonna be like during the ceremony. You
Well,
just,
no.
like
How would I
drive
miss
down
the
the aisle.
ceremony?
This is just the end of a romantic comedy, and you ride in on the ATV, and it's like I object.
Yeah, get on, mom. As he ride off into the sunset.
Well, I mean, as everyone in the chat is pointing out, it's hard for me to pick a really stupid moment. But I have one that kind of sticks out in my brain as like probably one of the dumber things I've done in my life. And one time in Vancouver, actually, me and my friends got really drunk, basically, and we decided, okay, let's go climb a mountain. And so yeah, it seems like I'm gonna fall off the mountain or something, and that'll be the stupid thing. No, it's not that dumb, but it might be dumber because I ruined a bunch of people's days. Basically, what happened is we're going up this hill. It's a really hot day, and so everyone just starts taking their shirts off and touching each other's nipples. I'm just kidding, but seriously, I take my shirt off because it's so hot. And for some reason I rubbed dirt on my face because I wanted to like pretend like I was a guerrilla warrior or something like that.
This is already really dumb.
Yeah, it's already really dumb. But it's not even at the dumbest of dumb. Basically, we get to the top of the mountain, and I didn't notice it. I get to the top, and I'm like, yes, champion! I'm yelling. And my friends are kind of like, shut up. And I didn't know what they were saying because they were kind of farther behind me because I had raced them up the hill and won. And
so you turn back and you're like, what did you say?
Yeah, exactly. So I turn back and I'm like, what's going on? And basically I turned around and there was a mountaintop wedding going on. They were in the middle of like the ceremony.
Wow.
And they see this shirtless guy
shirtless,
with dirt all over his face.
Shirtless drunk Cam is standing on top of the mountain, literally photobombing their wedding. Like, photos were being taken towards me of shirtless Cam in the middle of a wedding. It was terrible and funny, I guess, but it was really stupid.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that was pretty dumb. That's up there.
Yeah.
I want to see those pictures, to be completely honest.
Yep, it was really, really dumb. But, so I guess if everyone said their stupid thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of did. I said that I complimented you. I can't think of a better one. Like, I guess the only thing that pops into my mind, this isn't even that stupid, but I was in my friend's workshop. Well, he was like doing something. He's a woodworker, and I would hang out at his house, and he would build things, and I would help sometimes. And I was just fucking around, and there was a dowel, and I picked it up and started swinging it around like a sword, and just smashed a light. It was incredibly stupid.
Jeez.
But like, it wasn't a big deal. But then after that, like, his other friend was there, and his other friend was really stupid and didn't know anything. And he was trying to convince me that the fluorescent light I had smashed was worth like $200. I'm like, I don't think is that really the case? Like, this is gonna cut into my 13-year-old wallet a lot. But then his mom got home and she was like, no, it's like $5. Don't worry about it. But I was seriously a little bit freaked out for a little while about that. But yeah, that's my story. It's not that stupid. I don't know. I don't do a lot of terribly stupid things. At least not that I'm thinking of right now.
Burn.
Bird, you're not stupid.
I'm sure I have stories, but my brain's blank.
Hashtag not stupid.
You probably
club.
repressed most of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so next question, and I added this in so I could defend myself. How can Cams die so much on Pin? Okay. Pin is not an easy boss, alright?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well,
Here we
if you were
go.
going to defend yourself, you didn't do
Started
it.
it off very poorly.
He's not an easy boss. He pops out of the ground in random places and he's difficult, and that's all I'll say.
It's not
random at
random.
all.
It's not random.
It's not random.
Randomness involved.
He always comes out where he went in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Currently learning Cam. Anyway, So next question, and this was kind of phrased differently than I put it on here, but can you guys play Xbox games? And I just would like to say I can't, because that requires some hardware that costs a lot of money, and it's kind of inconvenient.
Yep.
Yeah.
It also requires an Xbox, which I don't even have.
I own an Xbox. I used to play a poop ton of Xbox games, but not much anymore.
Yeah, actually, Austin can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin can. If you guys want to see that, Austin.
So tell Austin to make some Xbox content. Be the resident console casual.
Fucking casual scum.
Somebody asked, did you guys see that patent that you won't be able to run used games on the new generation of PlayStation?
I heard a lot of stories.
I did hear a little bit about that, yeah.
I don't
And
care.
it's not surprising.
It's not surprising at all.
It's not how you fix the problem, but
I honestly...
maybe if the games were affordable and people wanted to buy the games, maybe they'd buy the games.
The way you fix the problem is digital fucking distribution.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you do it. And for whatever reason, consoles are like, nah, fuck that. We like selling physical media.
Or here's another option. Stop giving a shit, because it's the stupidest nonsense I've ever heard. Like, for instance, gaming is the only industry that has a problem with people reusing things that were already bought. Could you imagine if you like with the thing that they have to pay like a tax, you have to pay like $10 to play the thing online, or people were pissed off, like Xbox is pissed off that GameStop is reselling their games. You know what? You made a game, you sold it. Guess what? That's a transfer of ownership. That person owns that game. They could do whatever the fuck they want with it. They could burn it if they want. Do you think?
Well, the thing is, they see PC gaming and how you license instead of own, and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right. I mean,
like
that's fine, but like the thing is, like, it's just the stupidest thing that they like when people defend them. I hate when people defend them. I see it on the internet all the time. It's like, well, yeah, but they want to make money off the used game sales. Like, that's great, but I'm sure no car company is like, well, I made the car. You're gonna have to pay us 10% of whatever you paid him in the future. It's like that. No, nothing does that. No industry fucking does that.
I'm sorry, but if you can't have that couch, you're going to have $10 for that couch if you
right, exactly.
You need to give it to your friend.
Craigslist would not exist.
You need to go buy a new couch.
We made this hair dryer so that if anyone else touches it other than you, it won't work.
just electrocute you.
This is the whole thing with intellectual property and stuff that's kind of blowing up lately.
Download a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's that exact thing where people are trying to compare intellectual property to physical property in a lot of ways, and try to make it, it's that whole, it sounds ridiculous, but that's because the company is trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want to own their intellectual property and also, still treat it like a physical. Well, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's not even
They're
like
stupid.
but it's not even just intellectual property though, because movies, you could resell movies, and that's not a problem.
Yeah, you can, but I can't you imagine movie companies trying to say you can't do that in the future?
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah. So I guess
you invited your friend over to watch the movie.
Exactly. They're finding the advantages of intellectual property in that you can just link this specific movie to this specific person and have it digitally distributed, and then he can't give it away to his friend. And they're like, well, shit, we should do that with our physical media as well, forgetting that, that's the whole, they don't want that to be treated like physical media, in that you can just, you have, like, a CD and you can do whatever you want, even if that involves burning it and giving it to your friend. They want to stop that, but they want to keep the part where they can treat it like digital media, in that you just license the content to one user.
Right.
Then, yeah. That's what's happening.
Next question, unless you guys have anything else to say on that.
I think we're good.
Next question. This one is actually really, really important question. Why is Cam so sexy?
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything to say on that?
No.
Yeah, I think what it is, he has that draw of like women like to fix people sometimes.
Yeah.
So, they see Cam and they're just like, oh, he's just this poor little lost puppy, and I just want to teach him how to, not be the worst thing in the world.
Read.
Yeah. And just rub my face on his beard.
Yep.
Okay, so next question. Woody or Buzz Lightyear, everyone?
I don't like Toy Story that
I don't
much.
really have an
What?
opinion on that. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
hate
seriously,
rainbows
man.
and the Beatles and chocolate too?
Yeah.
I didn't say I hated it. I just said I didn't like
Do
it
you
that
hate
much.
babies?
Wasn't a fan.
Do you hate the smell of a newborn?
I do. Have you ever smelled a newborn? Not
Actually,
pleasant.
Oh.
babies smell really good, and that sounds creepy, but they.
Oh my god.
Currently smelling
Wow.
baby scam.
Yeah.
Currently smelling babies. Yeah.
Well, I mean, except there are definitely points when they don't, like when they're pooping or
Yeah.
puking.
Exactly. Yeah.
You really have to
smell
be
bad a
specific here,
substantial amount
Cam,
of the
at
time.
when
I would
babies
have
smell good.
to say Buzz Lightyear because I mean, at least in the imaginary universe, he can fly. He has jet wings.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, well, he's a toy. Yeah, but I mean, he can.
Oh, you're talking about extended universe Toy
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah, I mean, if
the
Buzz
lore of
Lightyear
Toy
were
Story. I mean,
real,
come on now.
if he were real, then he could fly.
Yeah, there are no rings around, so obviously Buzz Lightyear can't fly unless there are rings.
Anyway,
What?
if you could change
totally forgot about
anything
that. Never
about
mind.
the video game industry, what would it be?
Oh man.
Focus on the hardware. I'd make it more focused on the software.
There shouldn't be any form of exclusivity anywhere. Anybody on any system should be able to play anything within a reasonable, like there shouldn't be a case where like I'm on my PC and I want to play Xbox Live Arcade version of Spelunky and I can't because there's an exclusivity agreement. All of that shit should go away.
All games should be easy to mod.
Yes.
That's a good one as well. Yes. Modding should be universally supported.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really have much after all those.
That was probably good
Pretty
ones.
much all the good ones there. I mean, don't force me to do anything that I don't want to do. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like I understand that
10
there
wolf
are.
tits.
I understand that there are like story linear based games, but sometimes it gets to a point where like for instance, your problems with Far Cry 3. It's like
Yeah.
if this is
Stop
not
making
like
me
the
get
game.
so many wolf tits, you assholes.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Or stop forcing me to pay a subscription model for an MMO because I would like to enjoy an MMO on my own if it had a big world, a big open world to explore. But
Yeah, a
but I
single
can't.
player MMO.
Yeah, I would do that.
Well, that kind of, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can see a lot of problems with that model.
Contradictory.
Yeah, right. I guess completely.
Yeah.
Considering that the name of the game is massively multiplayer, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really have any. I'm just picking at straws here, guys. You took away all the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cam, are you religiously opposed to using the Binding of Isaac wiki? Yes. Next question.
Wait, going back to things about PC gaming, I actually have another one. Or, not PC gaming, but things to change about gaming. Every game should have a demo.
Yeah, seriously,
Yes.
and a
Every
real
game should have a
demo.
good playable demo so that you can try it out, see if it's compatible with your computer, and see if you like the gameplay before you have to spend money on it.
Yep, that'll kill piracy entirely.
It would go a long, long way. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing too is like if you're gonna make a tutorial in your stupid game, make it skippable because they're okay for
Yeah,
people like
yes.
Cam, but for me, I want them to not exist ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And don't make your tutorial your fucking demo.
Exactly.
Clause
Yes.
B of my
Yeah.
previous
XCOM.
one.
Press A to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
because that's not every button ever always.
personally, I think that the demo should be completely separate from the story of the game. Because if you get like the little taste at the start of the story of the game, then it's I don't like that at all. Also, the tutorial should be completely separate. Like in the main menu, there's a tutorial option where you click it and then you go learn about the game, and then you go play the
Yeah.
real game and enjoy.
I would
it
like
thoroughly.
that for sure. But as far as like not like if you have a story driven game, then I think you should be perfectly allowed. Just as movie trailers give you the hook of the story and make you want to know more about it, I think the game should definitely be allowed to give you the hook of their story and then say, okay, to play more, you have to buy the game.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's
fair
okay, but usually the hook in video games doesn't really translate, like we were talking about in the last podcast.
Yeah, but if it does, like, look
because
at-
it's
look
like,
at The
it's
Walking Dead.
tutorial. Yeah, right.
Look,
Yeah.
look at The Walking Dead. The tutorial for The Walking Dead should be something fucking crazy happening where you want to know more about what happens afterwards.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Or not
Yeah.
the tutorial, I meant the demo.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, tutorials just need to be tutorials are just like they pretend like everyone is just the most ignorant little thing in the world.
Which is fine. Games need tutorials like that if we want new people to
They-
play games. And that's fine. Just
you
don't make
know-
me play it.
Yeah, right, exactly. Don't force
yeah.
me to play it.
I mean,
Also,
yeah.
the thing is, like, here's the other thing. They put tutorials in platformers. Like, I understand, like, if I'm gonna jump into Crusader Kings 2, like, one of the most complex games ever, right? Like, if I'm gonna jump into Master of Orion 2, right, and there's, like, a billion things that I want to know about, endless space, something like that. Okay, I'll play the tutorial, I need to know. But if I'm playing Mario, I don't need to fucking know that A means jump if that's the only thing that you have to know. You don't have to make me play it for an hour, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to make me play it. But again, I'm not opposed to the existence of tutorials in any game, really. Because, I totally understand that, like, there are people who have not played a platformer yet, and they could benefit from knowing what button is jump, and that's fine. Don't put me through that. I already know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One game that I was kind of annoyed with the tutorial of, and this kind of segues into the next question as well, was Portal 2. Like, I totally get it for Portal 1, because you're still figuring out the physics and, how everything works. But in Portal 2, you spend, like, the first couple levels without the gun that drives the rest of the game. And that's a story-driven game where you do. You spend the first couple rooms without the gun.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
No, I agree with that.
But I don't know. I want to get the gun and start shooting things. I know that's not
I
what
actually
you do
really liked the intro of Portal 2. I thought it was really well done. Because they made it so, like, you're getting into the story of the game, and it's funny and interesting and engaging the whole time.
Yeah,
I loved it.
The opening cutscene was great, but then it slows down once you're in the tutorial mode, and
you still have, like, witty computers saying things to you and shit.
Yeah, that's there the whole time, though. You could still have that with a cool first level.
Yeah, and imagine if you hadn't played Portal 1 as well. You need to be introduced to, like, this is a portal, this is how it works.
Yeah, exactly. But it's at the end of the day,
you can still do it with a portal gun.
Yeah, it's not horribly difficult.
But they
to
didn't.
figure
Well,
out.
also,
it didn't bother me.
That's another thing too. Is that, like, sometimes you'll have a tutorial, and it'll be of things that you never do ever again in the game. I'm looking at you, Zelda, where it's like there's just tutorial missions like with like you could say like Wind Waker, where it's like the stealth mode of fucking Forsaken Fortress where you don't use your sword, and then you promptly never do that shit ever again.
Yeah,
and it's
you
like
never have to stealth through anything.
Yeah, why is this the tutorial that I have to fucking cry through? The same with Twilight Princess, where it's like, well, I'm gonna herd some goats, and it's like, I never do that again! Why do I want to play that?
Zelda, they need to build the story. It's fine to want to build the story in the first 20 minutes of the game, but don't do it with cutscenes.
Yeah.
Build it with the gameplay.
Right. And don't build it with gameplay that doesn't exist for the rest of the game either.
Yeah.
And so, anyway,
yeah, I totally agree with Rob. That was the silliest shit in the world when you had to herd goats.
Yeah.
I was just, I was seriously, when I played that, I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, and the graphic, like, I totally loved it, because it's still one of the funniest things for me to ever do, is to herd a goat into the thing, and then it says, "Goat get!" Like, that's great.
That was great.
I think that's hilarious, but then also you never see that graphic ever again in the game. You never see any graphic that pops up in the middle of your screen saying, like, "Fuck you, look at this thing that you did,"
Yeah,
So, whatever.
Yeah. And so, anyway, on the Portal 2 note, do you guys prefer Portal or Portal 2?
Never played any of them.
Oh.
Huh.
Ooh. Damn.
Oh, well.
I mean, are we talking about this in the context of the time period they came out, or if I was going to play one right now? That's always the.
Let's just say context.
Yeah, in the context of the time, Portal 1 for sure was an amazing breakthrough of a game.
Yeah.
But
Portal
if I was
2,
just going to sit down and play a Portal game right now, I'd probably prefer playing Portal 2.
Yeah, it's
Especially
objectively
since
a better
in Portal
game.
2 I could fucking go and like download levels that people have created, so I don't have to play the same game again. That is the neatest shit in the world. People have made some really cool stuff. If you haven't checked out user-created levels in Portal 2, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what I really like about Portal
really
2
cool.
is that they included the co-op in it.
Yeah,
I've never
that's
played
neat as
it,
well.
but it looks totally badass from what I've seen, and I'm gonna play it with Rob once
Yep.
he gets his
The
goddamn
puzzles get-
computer.
The puzzles get complex.
Yeah, with 4 portals, it's really neat.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think you could definitely say that Portal 2 is objectively a better game, but, you also have to consider, like, what happened with Portal 1, where it was just, like, kind of tied into the orange box, and, like, no one was hyped for Portal, no one really knew about it,
And nobody who made Portal thought it was going to be big.
Right.
They were just
it's
like, look at
it's
this neat
basically
little
a
thing we
mod.
made.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the Portal 1 was basically a tech demo, and then they added on some like funny tidbits of story and stuff. So
Yeah, a hilarious story. I don't know how, like, what the fuck. It was just this tiny little project, but Valve, like, just nurtured it. They did so much cool stuff for it. It was really well done. It had really good puzzle design. The humor was fucking hilarious the whole time. And yet, they were like, this is just a minor thing compared to Half-Life 2, you know? We don't really care about this so much. Or was it Half-Life 1, actually?
No. Orange Box. Orange Box
Orange
was
Box.
with Team Fortress 2 before it went free to play.
Yeah.
And some other stuff too. Like I don't remember. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they totally.
Well, I
didn't
think
want
Orange
that.
Box did have Counter-Strike
2?
1.6 in it.
You know what? I think the Orange Box had episode 1 or 2 of Half-Life 2. I think is what it was. Yeah,
so?
here you go.
Man,
Half-Life
I don't know.
2 episode 2, Team Fortress 2, and Portal. And people pretty much bought it for Team Fortress 2 and Episode 2, and then Portal was just kind of like, oh, we get an extra game, maybe I'll check it out later. And then they did, and everybody's just like, whoa, Portal is awesome!
Yeah,
I will
remember-
say something
Yeah.
that I'm just really bad at spatial awareness type puzzles, which is why
It would
I
be
haven't
tough
played
for you.
puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really it takes it makes your brain work in a totally different way than it ever has before
yeah,
when you
totally.
play Portal for the first time. It's so cool because you have to like you can create portals anywhere and that just makes the spaces linked and you reserve momentum. So there's all kinds of just bizarre puzzles
Right.
that involve using your momentum going through one portal to come out another one. It's neat.
Something that I hope they develop though is just the variability, like just giving you more options to solve a puzzle because it's really, I mean, there's one way to solve every puzzle, and I'm not against that, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of like if you could solve it multiple ways, that would be give it so much more playback time. You could go back.
Well, if you watch the speedrun of Portal, you could always just glitch out of the level repeatedly.
Yeah, really.
The speedrun of Portal is crazy, by the way. If
Yeah,
anybody
it really
ever hasn't
is.
seen
8
it,
minutes.
it's super short, and they
Yeah,
just
it's-
glitch it like crazy. They just like make the game their bitch. It's really bizarre and awesome.
Okay, so next question. Would you... Okay, this one's kind of an obvious question, but I feel like you might have something else to say on this, everyone. Would you guys like to get sponsored by Machinima or TGS? And I feel like the answer is a global yes. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
pretty
not?
much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Nothing
Yep.
more to say
But-
on that?
Good question.
do we want to talk about that subject in general, or do we want to avoid that? Because
we're
it's a
already
slippery
we're already
slope.
an hour and 50 minutes in. Maybe we
Yeah.
can talk about that.
Yeah,
in
that,
another
keep it
episode.
that
going
could take
here.
up the rest
Also,
of
the
it.
other thing is, just as a side note, is like everything's so fucking convoluted in that thing. Is that since we're not really part of it, we don't really know a lot about it either. Like we know a lot
Yeah,
of what we know.
I've researched
Yeah.
it a lot.
researched.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just move on before we fall into this
Yeah,
hole
yeah,
that
here we go.
are
We're talking about it
gazing
anyway.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Opinions on PewDiePie. What do you guys
Oh
think?
well.
Oh.
I don't mind that he exists. It's not my style of humor. And I would never do stuff like that because it's not, it's not something that I would enjoy, and I try to make content that I would enjoy watching. However, just the fact that he's like paved the way as one of the people who can play video games and make millions of dollars doing it is really neat.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that he exists.
One thing, okay, I don't enjoy watching PewDiePie's videos much, but one thing that I really think that he's got nailed down is he knows who he is making videos for.
Bingo.
Yeah.
It's 11-year-old
definitely.
girls.
Yeah, like little,
Yeah.
basically high school kids that enjoy that kind of humor. And, there are some older people that might enjoy that kind of humor as well. But there are literally videos, I think, on his channel, like, adults react to PewDiePie.
Yeah. It's
And-
really fun.
There was also a pretty an animation that went out about PewDiePie that was pretty negative.
Well,
Yeah.
haters gonna hate. Once you get big enough, everyone's gonna hate
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
But
Yeah, and there's a lot to hate about his style of humor as well.
Yeah.
Like it's a very
There is
it's very
it's very
immature.
what's the word? Rapey?
mm.
Yeah, it's very rapey.
very
humor
rapey.
is really a strong word for it, also. But no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm actually not kidding. But I don't have I'm not gonna watch him, but I don't hate him or anything. Like I don't want him
Yeah.
to not make videos. If he's got an audience and people love him, then people love him. That's good
Yeah,
for
exactly.
them.
If anybody ever mentions PewDiePie in my comments, or we mentioned him in a video, there's always a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I fucking hate PewDiePie. Just the fact that I heard PewDiePie's name is making my blood pressure rise." It's like,
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have spoken about PewDiePie in the video I made about accents. So, it's exactly the same. I think he is fine for what he is. And I did mention before, it's the copycats that drive me crazy. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is bad. That started with Minecraft or actually probably started with Call of Duty, but it progressed to Minecraft and then it was, Amnesia.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I want to
Amnesia was
stress here
PewDiePie's.
that it's not, I'm not saying that, people shouldn't play the same games with him. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people.
Oh yeah,
No,
people
it's
got
like-
so mad because they thought you meant that.
Yeah. What I wanted to say that what I mean is that doing things like copying the way he talks, copying even the way he looks at the camera angles, things along those lines, like trying to turn yourself into an exact carbon copy of PewDiePie is a bit, it's not going to get you very far.
If you start your video with, "My name is PewDiePie," then you're probably
Yeah.
Zen talking.
There was one guy who made like the exact same montages with the exact same subtitle font and the exact same jokes.
Yep.
It was like, dude, you can't.
Yeah, if you're
be
playing
that
Amnesia,
obvious.
that's fine. If you're playing Amnesia and yelling about how barrels want to rape you,
Yeah.
then you're probably making some errors.
Rethink the strategy.
Yeah.
It's Zynga to everyone else. It's like fuck
Right.
those guys. Like, I don't really care because I'm not going to buy their games anyway. But whatever.
No,
Yeah.
that said, PewDiePie himself seems to be a nice guy, so I don't have a big problem.
It's weird. He doesn't seem like an asshole. I've never seen
No.
anything that lets me know that he's not an okay dude. But
Nah, yeah, I don't have a
Nothing
problem
wrong
with him
with
as a person. Like I said, I just
rape
don't like his
jokes.
content. Well, they're not rape jokes. Like that's the thing. I don't have a problem with rape jokes.
okay, the
The just saying rape all the time. not funny.
right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Anyway, we move on. Next question.
Okay, this one is actually really important. How many tigers has Zen killed?
Oh,
very important.
How many tigers have I killed? 1.5. I mean, I killed one of them, and then I halfway killed the other one before he decided to tell me that he liked playing video games, so that we often went and played GoldenEye together.
That's very nice.
So you befriended a tiger.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Beat him into submission.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That was a good spin on that question.
He already had the bottom jaw off of the tiger before the tiger managed to tell him that he liked video games, and Zen was like right about to smash his skull in with his own jaw.
And then Zen nursed it back to health so they could play video games.
Yeah.
Yep. And then after that, I let him go back to the 100-acre woods.
And then he started pitching invisible baseballs like a gigantic asshole.
That's actually
Yeah.
we've
Oh,
uncovered the story
nice.
of Tigger. Is just he just has gone insane from post traumatic stress of that encounter with Zen.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep.
I like how we can now know if a question is important or not, whether or not Cameron says it's
Yeah.
important or not. And we'll just see the opposite.
Okay, so next question. Does anyone here play League of Legends, or are you just Dota fans?
All Dota.
All Dota.
I
Everyone
really
is Dota.
should try something along those lines. I just don't have the time. I need to play Chivalry, you guys. I
Yeah.
haven't found the time to do that yet.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yep. MOBAs are just fun in general. Like I don't know.
Mhm.
I played
MOBAs,
League of Legends.
they have such an incredible like barrier to entry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
they
think
really
like
do.
the only reason that I enjoy Dota is because I can always play with 4 other people who know what they're doing and understand that I don't.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably the only way I can play Dota too, because I
Yeah.
don't have the skills to match up with some of
Yeah.
these people for sure.
Going in by yourself, it's impossible.
Yeah, it's insane.
There's just no way.
I did, like every time I want to use the courier, I have to ask people, okay, fucking, how do I do this again? And if I'm by myself,
Okay.
it's like I would just be feeding the courier to the towers constantly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got to get that hotkey.
I
going.
think that's the problem with those MOBAs and stuff, is that they're just the MOBA. Like there's no other modes in Dota. I mean, like there is kind of like they have the other events that they do, but like there's no other mode really. Is like you're just playing that, and when you couple that with the fact that it's an extremely competitive game to start with, the community becomes terrible, and playing it is just a huge barrier of entry. Like when you were playing Dota on Warcraft 3, you were playing a bunch of other custom maps too, and like the people playing would like drop out, and you know, you'd have a lot of casuals in there, and there's no like real matchmaking system so much, except that happened later on. But you know, so it definitely has a huge barrier for entry and a huge learning curve, an insane learning curve.
We were talking about that earlier, how it would be cool if Dota had, like, practice modes like a fighting game does.
Mm-hmm.
It
Almost where it's like,
does. It sort of does because they have the bots.
Well, that's totally different, though, because you still...
Isn't there a tutorial that they're working on that isn't out yet?
I hope so.
They have the quest mode.
Yeah.
Because what I'm talking about is, like, before you play a fighting game, you can play through the story mode, sure, and that kind of gets you somewhere, but really what you're looking for is the good practice mode where you can go in and it tells you the buttons for a combo, and then you put in the combo, and you can practice doing that against a stationary enemy repeatedly until you're competent enough to do that while you're trying to do other things.
Wow.
And what Dota has, like, so many fucking things that you need to be thinking about all at once, and it would be so good if there was just, like, you know, using the courier tutorial where you can practice using the courier, or like, you know, last hitting tutorial and stuff like that, where you can just do these things not in the context of a map where you have to be doing so much other shit as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, you know, it's funny. Someone said, lol, no tutorials in games, huh, Green? And I want to respond to that by saying, like, that's what I was talking about. Is like, I don't need a fucking tutorial for Mario because it's the simplest goddamn game on the planet. For a game that is really difficult, like, you know, a 4X RTS game or, you know, something like Dota, you need tutorials because people don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's fine.
Yeah, and
it's a game that can't teach you its gameplay through the gameplay.
Right.
Yeah, if I could interject for a second, I don't think, scratching my beard, I don't think you were listening to what we were saying about tutorials earlier, because I don't think a single one of us said that we should take tutorials out of games. We said we should make them optional, and I'm not saying you should force everybody to play through an hour-long tutorial before a match of Dota. That would be insane.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it should exist.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Next question.
Apart from PC, what console do you want Isaac to be played on?
I don't care.
Xbox Live Arcade.
I mean, Xbox is fine.
It would be kind of cool to see a handheld Isaac on some sort of handheld game.
They did mention that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really wants it on DS really badly.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed on DS, sadly.
Yeah. And Edmund has said in interviews that DS is like his ideal platform for Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the vagina? It was probably the vagina monster.
Yeah,
it was
among
a lot
things.
of. I think it was more the religious overtones.
Yeah, it actually was. That's what he said. Is that they didn't want any of the Christian symbology in it.
Symbology.
I guess symbolism. I don't know why I went symbology. Yeah. That's like the study of symbols. Whatever, man. But
no studying Christian symbols allowed in DS games. There's not going to be like.
Right.
You know, Christian Artifact Hunter 2012 or anything.
Well, I mean, that's like what we were talking about before is like games that fit on handheld, like bite-sized experiences. Isaac is totally that, which is why it makes for good videos. Yeah. It's like it's bite-sized experiences, something I could play on a train before I'm like on the way to school or something. Like that would be great.
Yeah, you got to be able to save in the middle of a game though.
I'm sure they would optimize the shit out of it.
Because every once in a while, you get like an hour and a half chest run or something. That would be a big piss off if you just had to stop.
Yeah, that would blow.
Yep.
Okay, next question.
He's actually said that that's going to be in the Rebirth. You'll be able to save in the middle of a game, which is great.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was just a limitation of Flash, I think.
Yeah.
Next question. What is your favorite form of apocalypse?
The one where we all get transported to a magical afterlife where everything's awesome forever. I like that one.
Obviously, the alpacalypse. Duh.
Okay, that's a good one. Where the alpacas take over the world.
Yep.
Everything should just turn into jungle. I'll be okay. Don't know about you guys.
And Zen can be the jungle
Tokyo
king.
Jungle.
Tokyo
Jungle.
Oh my god.
If I had to choose one, it would be... I mean, it depends on if I have guns or not. Because I would choose zombies if I had guns.
Well, can you... Yep. You'd have to be able to use them as well.
Yeah, I would learn. You know, you adapt.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just happen to live in an apartment with this, like, full of guns, but you never learned how to shoot.
Yeah, that would... Yeah, I don't know. I would probably die. So, in that case, I would probably choose nuclear bomb. Because then there's the chance that like the nuclear bomb doesn't hit one place on the planet, and then there, you know, it might be my place, and then I get to live on a planet where there's no one else.
I think that place
Maybe it'll
is
be made of
probably
gold.
Yeah, it has to be
So
made
you
of
can
gold
drive the
as
market
well,
down.
right?
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm a
hey,
gold mine.
actually, by the way, to go back for a second, Freeze just linked in the.
I was about to mention that. I totally missed the question because I clicked on that.
It's so odd that happened so recently. That was just
Yeah.
earlier today or yesterday. Actually, I'm bad with dates. But Edmund McMillan linked a picture of Isaac on the DS, which is pretty goddamn cool.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would work great.
Oh my god,
No
that'd be
problem with that.
amazing.
I don't own a DS, but
I would also
it would
buy a
look great.
DS for that. Honestly, like that would be so cool.
Right?
Like, if I could play that and Pokemon X and Y, I would buy a 3DS.
Yeah.
There's no.
Add the Pokemon in.
Yeah.
You got. I mean, I was buying it anyway because of Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
but-
There
if
would
I
be no
had like
reason
a
that I
bus
wouldn't.
commute, then I would, but I drive, so like most of the time when I would be playing handheld games is just I like listen to podcasts because I can't like play a DS while I'm driving, you know.
Yeah,
But
I'm one of those guys who pays money because it's a good idea and I want them to keep doing it, which is silly, but not really. It kind of is.
Yeah, that's
but,
so
yeah.
silly.
you and your fucking altruism.
And so the last question, and possibly the most important question of all: do you guys like butts?
I think you all know the answer to that question for me.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't really?
I have to conduct a research study. I'll get back to you in 3 years.
Yeah, that one's profound. That'll take some musing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's next level
definitely.
shit right there. No pun intended.
Yep.
So that is the
Well
end
then.
of the lightning round. Thank you.
All
All
We have to
right, well,
end it
that's
on
a
a
great
pun.
end to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for making it so awkward, Cameron.
Dicks and butts. Talking all about dicks and butts.
Yeah.
Yep.
69
So,
out
thank
of
you
69.
all. 69 out of 69. Yep. Thank you all for watching another episode of the We Need to Go Deeper podcast. And I hope you guys all tune in next week. We're hopefully just making this 6:30 every week on Friday, or 6:30 PST, I should say. So whatever time it was today for you. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Peace
Yeah,
out.
bye.
Oh, right, you guys should plug your channels.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
probably a good idea.
I'll
Nah,
plug
nah,
it right
nah.
in, baby.
Yeah, that's a really good channel plug-in so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll.
So go to the channel. It's my channel. It's / Grey Wolf with an I. You can go watch me play games and stuff.
Italian. Last
I started a new series, Mega Man X3. Fun game, hard game. Also, we talked about Dota so much, I just put up a Dota video of all of us except Zen. Sorry, Zen. Playing Dota. And it's there.
Oh,
It
that's
was
up.
like yesterday.
Cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
all
I didn't know
there.
that was
Yeah,
up,
look
actually. Alright. Cool beans. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's the one
Alpaca
where we
Patrol.
just raped everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one where
Destroyed.
Yeah, that was
we
good
pretty
times.
much.
That was really good. By the way, thank you, Mr. Luigi, for linking all of our channels in the chat. I'm Alpaca Patrol.
Yes, thank you.
And I do Isaac right now, pretty much only Isaac right now, because my computer has been destroyed for a while. And but all the buts, it should be here within the week because they said between the 18th and the 21st. Although they gave me a contradictory email saying that the computer was put together, so they're probably shipping it now. So I don't know. Sometime in the next week, I should have my new computer, and then lots of things: XCOM, Don't Starve, FTL, and more stuff. And
Portal
more
2
stuff.
co-op.
Portal 2 co-op,
yeah.
probably.
Oh god, I have to watch. I want to watch that, and at the same time, I don't.
Oh, it's
wanna
gonna be
watch that.
so frustrating. It's gonna be terribly frustrating.
Cameron, put it. No, Cameron, put it there. No, Cameron.
He's just gonna get blackout drunk and be like, "What does this
And
gun
then
do?"
Or find out he's just gonna put me in an infinite loop every level.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be great.
He's gonna find out a way to just fall forever and then be like, "How do I can't do anything."
Passed over.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
I guess Zen.
Oh, okay. My channel is Zen and Cyrene. I play mostly Binding of Isaac nowadays, and I often go into weird things. Like the last thing I played was Soda Drinker Pro! And it's just about as fucked up as you imagine it to be.
Sounds fun.
And
Yep,
I
good times.
am currently dancing Cam. I play Binding of Isaac Plus. I'm playing Far Cry 3 right now, which is totally awesome. And I also like to take suggestions. I'm actually going to do one video coming up under Currently Confused Cam, where I go online and I play a bunch of online dating games.
Oh shit!
Yes.
And,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So yeah, check it out.
Cool. All right. Is that everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching the podcast. Subscribe to all of these fine gents, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Love you.
I love you more.